Hello and welcome to our next session of the Runtime Initiative.
Woo!
Hey. Although we're still out of the abyss. But we're in the abyss of the Underdark, but not like the abyss.
Get it.
I don't understand what's happening.
Remember how you took the map?
Oh, right. It's so loud.
I just wanted to just blast our...
You're welcome,
Just
everyone,
bring
for not
attention
having
to it.
metal dice.
It's in the trunk of the car.
A true gentleman and a scholar. But yeah, so the last time we played, you all ventured forth into the realm of the Pudding King in the northwest corner of Blingdenstone. This was after a meeting between the Were-Rats and the other Zwerfneblin of Blingdenstone, and a tentative agreement dependent on you guys coming back with either evidence or testimony that there is in fact some Pudding King or something, some threat that, is not Chipgrid Gold Whisker.
We did get that.
I don't know, did we?
Yeah.
Was
I
there a
mean,
threat?
he was there. What's his
Seemed
name?
pretty safe.
Yeah, Breckland accompanied you.
Breckland, yeah.
Breckland. I don't know.
Breckland was there, and
it
he
seemed
heard,
like
he heard
it's-
the voice of the General of Goo or
It
whatever.
seemed like a mild problem.
General of Gelatin.
Oh my.
Admiral
It's probably
of
not so bad, the
amorphous
General.
beings.
I still want to remember what your other one was because it was super good.
I don't remember.
Can't think
We'll
of
get
it.
there. It will come back.
It will. Okay. But yeah, so you all took Breckland and traveled towards the Royal Sphere, which is this enormous spherical stone structure that, before the Drow invasion, was previously the center of the Zwerfneblin government in Blingdenstone. So you made your way into the large chamber that housed that sphere, into the sphere, and up the halls and staircases to the top level, where you found what appeared to have been at another point in time a throne room, where you were addressed by the Pudding King after searching around in there for a bit. He then sicked a plethora of oozes on you, which seemed to more and more seemed to keep on coming as you remained up there. Eventually, after quite a slog and almost a half party kill HPK from a wild magic surge, decided that it was time to go. It was
Okay,
time to
he
go.
healed up a lot.
I did. It was great.
Yeah. From maximum to maximum.
Still good.
So you all, at that point, decided it was time to escape, which, not terribly difficult to dodge and avoid the rather slow-moving oozes, and you escaped otherwise unscathed back to the gate. And that is where we pick up today. The gate closes behind you, and you find yourself again safely in the Trader's Grotto.
I think we just take like 3 minutes here.
No.
Back in.
No, that was pretty bad.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm
You
fine.
want to go? You want to just head back in? All right. Well,
I mean,
if you feel that way, you go ahead.
I mean, not alone.
I could do it.
Probably.
Are you afraid?
I'm not tapped whatsoever. I was holding my punches.
Oh, I'm very tapped.
I actually was holding my punches.
It's true. Perhaps we should. I don't know. This is. Breckland, what's going on in there?
That was what we were.
Well, right.
We brought him there to show him that.
I would assume. Do you have any more? Like, did you see that happen slowly, or did you guys just get back and it was all like that already? You guys didn't. Yeah.
We knew that there was an ooze infestation, but that was something beyond what I imagined. It had been a while since any of us had ventured past that gate, and did not realize just how bad it had gotten.
Yeah, that was awful. Bad's kind of an understatement.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Breckland and Eldith and June, everyone's just like huffing and puffing, just gassed, just like, okay, the race is done, just breathe. That's the key. Breathe.
Okay. So there's a lot of slimes, and we killed not many of them.
We
We
killed a
killed
lot.
quite a few, but there were quite a few more yet.
So, what do we think? I mean, the Pudding King is clearly so. Vera, is it possible to project one's voice like that without having some sort of proximity to that area?
I'm going to use minor illusion to make a noise behind Nero.
Well, we didn't see him right next to us.
The pudding is here! Okay.
Neither of you need to roll for this, but you would both be aware that there are definitely, even just in terms of like spells that wizards have in their books or bards can learn that are capable of that sort of projection of sorts. Not to mention other nameless magics of the world.
Right. There are plenty of things that like what Bryn just did that do these things. And then there's also types of magic that project sounds directly into your mind. We don't know whether that sound was real or if it was just imagined. But I mean, Glabagul was able to speak to us.
Right, within a certain proximity of. And my question is, the fact that he was communicating with us, does that mean that he's theoretically somewhere close to there? Or could he be doing that from miles away?
It depends. It's hard to say. It depends on how strong he is, really. The more powerful the magic, the further the distance.
Breckland chimes in. The city itself, while fairly large, is not hugely expansive. From that sphere, you're no more than 500 or so feet from one of the edges of the city.
I myself have a spell that can do it at 120 feet.
So we're not too far off the mark that he's got to be somewhere around there.
I'm sure
He most likely is
most
somewhere.
likely.
Well, and Chipgrin said that he saw him in these tunnels somewhere. I think he's close.
Sorry, when we went back there, did we just walk into a room and it was like carved out and there's just this dome in the middle and that's it? Or were there exits like to the left or right or something?
There's 3 staircases. That's
I
where
thought they
the
went
slimes were.
into the circle.
So there's tunnels and shit behind it, but you guys came in through this gate around here,
Yeah.
Oh,
and then you saw this giant dome. The dome was enormous.
right. And the staircases go into the dome.
Yeah.
But there are
But
more
there are-
tunnels
So is that
around.
7
Okay.
or 28?
28. 7 is Trader's Grotto. 7 is the edge of your map.
It's like right here.
I think you no. You scribbled it. It's that.
Oh.
That gate is the one you went through.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, so it's like here. Like there's a little bit of like coloration, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is that chamber.
Gotcha. Do we think he's in? I mean, we didn't get very far in there. Like we only.
Right. I mean,
So
we're not going back today.
No,
the
probably.
slimes
No,
the
we're
slime
not.
seems centered on that sphere, right?
Not particularly. I mean, there was maybe a slightly higher concentration, like just around the base of it, but that could have been coincidental. Or I mean, there were slimes all over that tunnel.
Let's
Not to mention the actual just ooze that is coating everything back
Sure.
there.
let's head back to the inn for
Well,
now.
should we go talk to?
I was going to say, so they were waiting with
Yeah.
Chipgrin because they
yeah.
specifically wanted to make sure that they were like observing
That's right.
him and his people while you guys went
Yeah.
and
Right, so
investigated.
let's go back to the inn.
Fuck
that noise. Let's go. Y'all have fun.
Test of their endurance.
And then next day, sorry to keep you waiting. We decided to sleep.
It
was-
became
It
necessary.
was Fuba out there. Yeah.
Let's go talk to Tripkin.
Let's go clear his name and.
Tripkin. I'll say it again.
Okay, yeah. So
No.
so they're still over just in the reception hall,
Key something.
Brecklin leads you back into that chamber, where at this point you've really only been gone probably not even an entire hour at this point, since you guys went in there.
Yeah.
Because like it wasn't that big of a distance, and
Yeah.
it was just a longer fight than.
It was.
It
So we
wasn't
just
even. It
leave,
wasn't
and then an
technically
hour
a long
later
fight
come back
either.
just looking like heck.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, in fact, it's true.
Turns out.
A
Coincidentally,
lot of people have like their weapons are just corroded right now.
My
Yeah.
armor is like beaten up.
Yeah.
well, like
Yeah.
Eldith like lost people
Shield.
lost stuff.
She lost her
Jim
shield.
Jar lost his sword. Eldith lost her shield.
Yep.
Is
Eldith's
your
armor's
completely
rotting.
We need to buy stuff. What's that?
I might be able to mend his shield or his armor.
It's one AC down.
Repair a single broken object no longer than 1 cubic feet. Can't restore magic item. Can't restore magic to broken items.
It's not magical.
I know.
But it's more than a cubic foot.
Well, I think.
I think that would be like volume,
Right.
not,
Okay.
not
Fills-
literal
fills
size.
a cubic foot.
Okay.
Yeah.
For like, yeah, because if you took off all this armor and like set it in a pile,
Sure.
it's not that big.
Okay.
I'm not gonna
As
nitpick
long as
that.
the tear or break is no larger than 1 foot in any dimension, I can mend it.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. Like it's all corroded away, but it's not.
Coincidentally, 11 and a half inches.
It was the biggest
Massive.
wound you sustained was
Right.
11 inches long.
Yeah. Perfect.
Giggity.
To go to that, do you mind if I do that real quick?
Go ahead.
It takes me a minute, so I'll just start chanting and guessing the spell.
Um,
my thumbs over.
So I sort of take 2 lodestones and start just like,
But man, if you need to go to the bathroom, Vera, we could have.
okay.
We could have stopped.
Literally.
2 lodestones.
What's that?
Wait, what's a lodestone?
He's
Like,
making a
it's-
poop joke.
Yes.
I get that, but what is a lodestone?
Oh, like
Isn't it just
legitimately.
Yeah.
what it
I think
was.
isn't it just a like magnet?
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think they're just like weak magnets.
Yeah,
Huh.
like naturally occurring magnets.
Yeah.
Dope.
Cool.
Nature.
Not really.
So,
A lodestone is a naturally magnetized piece of mineral magnetite.
Learning.
there we go.
They are naturally occurring magnets which can attract iron. The property was first discovered through lodestones.
Or more appropriately, whatever you say they are.
True.
Pieces of spaghetti.
What is Kevin's book of rocks?
Pieces of spaghetti.
Kevin's Book of
Kevin hasn't
Lodestones.
written a book on rocks.
Who knows?
Yet.
Should have rolled.
Kevin has written a book on rocks. He's been describing it to you the whole way through. Rocks are very important.
So, we're,
All right, so yeah, we're going. We go.
So your
we
armor
walk to
is
the-
mended.
Oh yeah,
Good
my armor's
job.
mended.
First time I've used that in a while.
I appreciate it.
Eldith's just like, I could use some of that later too, but probably a little more extensively.
It looks like it, yes. I honestly, on character, wasn't sure if a completely broken item would be able to repair that.
Her shield is.
Well, so her shield is gone.
Okay.
Her shield is gone,
She'll
gone.
have to buy
But
it.
her armor is at a -2 and her hammer's at a -4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can fix those?
Yeah. It'll just take longer.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So you head the short distance back over to rejoin Senny and Dorbo and Chipgrin. Chipgrin's face sort of lights up as he sees you guys.
Completely battered.
Senny,
Douchebag.
Senny's expression is definitely one more of concern, just given the state of your group at this point. And Senny is just, what did you find? Clearly
It's-
something.
It's just a bunch of puppies. There's no slimes at all. It's just.
if that's what a puppy is,
No,
No,
it's
I'm
not.
kidding.
Don't do that.
I'm sorry. I forgot. I forgot.
I got the joke.
So we went to this large sphere. I think.
The Royal Seat or something?
Who's the guy that was with us?
I don't know. This
Brecklin.
Brecklin. Brecklin said it used to be like a palace of sorts. We climbed to the top, and when we got to the throne room, we heard the disembodied voice of who Chipgrin's been referring to as the Pudding King.
We assume. Did he introduce himself?
Did he?
I think he did.
That sounds canon. All right, he did.
Yes, no cards. Where are they?
Also, I can go invisible whenever I want.
While we're just adding things.
Like a congressman writing something at the
It's
at the bottom of a law. This law looks great. Also, this happens.
Yeah.
I don't think he like formally introduced himself, but I think he mentioned his title in a later quip or remark.
Yeah, true.
But
That
he,
I actually
so
do think of.
so he announced himself. It was a disembodied voice. We couldn't see him, but he calls himself the Sultan of Slime. You said the Sultan of Slime.
That's his name.
And while we were up there, we spent
I don't remember.
we spent all of that time.
Make a deception
remember
check at advantage.
I don't remember the name
Not
at all.
you. No, you're the advantage. Bring this one.
I see.
Oh, I should have.
Oh no.
Oh god.
11.
11.
Oh wait, I would like to spend a minute. Wait, I think that just gives me advantage.
I think so too.
It just makes it pass
I
automatically.
think it's bullshit.
Yeah, me too.
What was I
11.
trying to say?
She doesn't question it in the moment, at least.
Why would she? Once he's here arguing against it, it might be trickier. And we've spent the last basically this whole time fighting slimes. We killed
A dozen,
a
maybe?
dozen or so
Probably.
slimes.
Bunch of stairs and a
and-
few on the way out.
And they seemed, there was no indication of them stopping. There's a horde of them at the bottom of the sphere, just oozing around. And once we got to the top, there was maybe 4 there, and slowly but surely they just kept coming up the stairs. And it seems like there is a personality referring to himself as the Sultan of Slime that is able to command these oozes to do his bidding.
Anyway, this admiral of amorphous beings seemed to.
While this is happening, I'm going to very theatrically be repairing Eldest weapons and armor, so that they can
For the
changing
drama,
the
I'll be
menu
like, let me
too.
fix it.
Yeah,
But,
I can't believe this happened.
He mentioned while we were fighting his minions, I suppose you could call them at this point, something about it's not ready yet, and I don't remember the exact quote because it was 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
but
there's
it's not
something
ready
about,
yet, and that
not ready
all of Blingdenstone
I
will
will call upon thee and all of Blingdenstone at the proper time.
right. That's what it was. I will call upon.
Of course,
thee.
I remember.
Ah,
It was
because
that.
It happened 10 minutes ago.
This happened less than an hour
I
ago.
took that feat.
I took that feat.
I don't forget things that happened less than an hour ago. Great. Perfect feat.
Man, I wish I had that feat in real life.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
If you recall.
But yeah. The threat is certainly real.
And the voice also did not sound like Chip Grin. I don't know if you watched him cast a bunch of spells while we were gone, but I don't think Chip Grin has anything to do with this.
Senny at this point turns to a female Zvrfneblin that was accompanying her fanfare.
Gina
And
Jar.
Gina Jar.
Gina Jar.
What's a Gina Jar?
It's Jim Jar's female counterpart.
It is now. No, she turns to this female Zvrfneblin and says, Nomi, did you see anything from him? And Zvrfneblin says, not one, nothing the whole time they were gone.
One whisker.
On Twitch.
And she then turns to Breckland.
Lead character.
Captain, is this your testimony as well? This Breckland just nods gravely.
Good, because I'd have beheaded him if he lied.
Good thing keep them alive. It's a bit bad.
I'll show you what nodding gravely is.
This is indeed most alarming. We must convene the Council of Blingdenstone. Send word to the leaders at once. She turns to her troop that's with her. I expect everyone in attendance first thing tomorrow morning. She looks back to you all. Could I count on your attendance as well?
What time?
First thing in the morning.
Okay.
We'll
I can send someone for you if waking up.
No,
No
I
issue.
wake up fine in this fantasy universe. I wake up fine.
It's alright.
It's been a long day.
I don't really need to sleep. I'll wake you up.
Vera is like covered in like missing parts of her clothes. And just,
Seriously.
I'm at 5 HP, so like there's like my skin's like
You and Eldith both look awful.
I had like boils on my face probably from the burns. Ow!
10
Don't-
points.
not
10
the
points
shoulder.
of lay on hands.
10 hands of lay on
10
points.
points to lay on hands. I
Well-
didn't use
Oh,
any of
okay,
that.
feels okay. Feels better there. Okay.
Well, retire to the foaming mug, tend to your injuries, and if you require more extensive healing, I am sure that Gurnik would be more than willing to assist you.
Just one request. I'm not sure what the result of tomorrow's meeting will be, but if you could possibly have more of whatever Brecklin used to coat his equipment, I think that may be beneficial.
Ooze be gone.
Who's gone?
Yeah.
Who's gone? Not me.
Who's away?
The representative who possesses the Blingdenstone's stores of that material will be in attendance as well.
Fabulous.
Can we just like cover our entire bodies with it?
I mean, I don't need to. I'm completely covered in magical items, alright?
She then turns to Chipgrin. You have earned our trust, Chipgrin Goldwhisker. So tell me, will you and your clan stand with us as allies as we defend Blingdenstone from this threat? Chipgrin smiles hugely. We will.
I'm gonna say grins.
Nice. Chippedly.
Grins with his chipped teeth.
Grins chipperly.
But at this point, everybody goes their separate ways. A few troops head off, or a few of the guards head off to basically take word of the meeting to other people. Brecklin thanks you for protecting him and returns back to his normal duties. And after a few minutes, you are all left to your own devices. We have devices. Somebody bust out a tab. Oh, there's no
If
Wi-Fi
we are
in
planning
the
on
dark.
going back into there tomorrow, I don't know that a full night rest is going to be enough to get me in tip-top shape again.
I think they're just making the decision tomorrow. Probably
I
at
was-
least one more day.
I was planning to go see Gurnik anyway. He helped us when Yormek aged a lot.
Rapidly.
I don't really like the idea of paying for the services if that's something we have to do.
Well, we'll find out.
I mean, I can do a little bit.
That might help.
Same.
But yes, it feels annoying to have to spend our money to heal ourselves so that we can fight on the city's behalf tomorrow. So
Well,
We
I'm
could
sure.
probably
I'm
make
sure
a
that
case, yeah.
Bryn or Yormek can guilt trip him into it.
that would be nice.
Do we have an expense account with them?
We could.
Do we have,
Just send the bill to Sani. It'll be fine.
do we have tab in the city or
Send it to Dorbo.
She
I
did
don't
say.
think-
She did say if you require further healing, go to Gurnik.
True, we didn't
That was
pay for-
basically a
I
blank
don't
check.
remember the
We
slime
didn't
salt
pay
thing.
for the last one. We
You
just.
supplied the
Oh,
material
we-
components.
Yes,
Right.
we certainly paid for that.
Well,
I mean, You
they all.
made it possible to do
Yeah.
it. He didn't
Yeah.
have
Right.
diamond dust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're willing to work something out.
Well, I'm willing to give it a shot.
Yeah, I went to talk to him about the fact that we're going to help out with Ogremonk's pain, by the way. But anyways,
Oh yeah, that too.
What?
yeah,
We need the pickaxe of rock killing. Though.
yeah, that's what we're
Oh,
trying
is that
to
the
get
the
Rock blight.
cursed rock. Well, we can go do that. That has to be easier than the slime.
I don't know that
How many
it's any...
slimes are there?
Everywhere we go is just.
Why am
full
I
of
the
them.
you're making this
Do we
conversation?
have to do every job in the city?
I mean, I
Yeah.
just.
It's
Yes, actually, I kind of feel the
It's the-
responsibility to take care of
there's
things.
this weird drive to complete all the items that
Look.
I've heard of so far while in this city. I can't explain it. It's
Well, do we
Every city
It's
we've gone to,
otherworldly.
we've run away from.
Your Caleb
Listen.
is showing.
Listen, to be completely honest, it's two things. Albeit large tasks. It's just two tasks. I'm not saying that I want to go clean Granny
We already
Jim Jaw's house.
we also don't need to clear out the ghost wardens.
Maybe
Right.
he's a
We
good.
already did that.
Yes, exactly.
No, we didn't.
Maybe
There were only two
maybe the
ghosts.
local
No,
barkeep
he-
has some
they're
rats in
correct.
his basement we can go take care of.
I've heard that's a common problem.
Look, we even got rid of the tomb guy before they knew it was a problem. So like we're doing things.
So that's two jobs.
Exactly.
We got rid of the things in the ghost wardens. We got rid of the tombs thing.
I mean, the tomb thing was very
It was very
beneficial
lucrative,
for
I'll
us,
be
so
honest. But
like, we,
I don't know.
I hold the staff of thunder and lightning. I don't know what you're talking about.
We
got
probably
almost
came
nothing
out
of
ahead.
that.
Busts out Dawnbreaker.
Dawnbreaker just like
So
what
what was the?
it was like thunder or lightning just like jumps down your staff.
do we have any? Like, do we know where
In the
we're
Underdark
going
lightning.
next?
It's the surface, I think.
surface.
Right,
for
but
sure.
do we know how to get there right now?
I think as part of the deal for doing the slime thing, we're going to get the guy to the city.
That's
Right.
what Senny said
Yeah.
before we left.
Why? So why do we? Well, that was just for proving. We don't even need to finish this. We can just go.
I mean, I have to kind of.
He's got a point.
I mean, he's got a
Jim Joe,
point,
you're,
but
you're not supposed to be with me in this plan. You're supposed to want to save your city and
Jim.
I
be
mean,
the hero.
I do want to save it, but the deal was for finding out about the Pudding King.
listen,
I probably at least a little bit maybe have to live down here.
no, you're
long
fine.
term.
We're gonna. I'm gonna show you some good spots.
After
alright?
you,
You have, what did we get you that hood for?
after you,
That's a good point.
after you
Listen.
destroy the sun, you can live anywhere.
Listen, you might be hesitant about the sun, but let me tell you, the moon.
The moon. Okay. It feels like
Make a nature check.
I was also going to
It's just amazing.
Do I have to?
13.
12.
I don't know how common knowledge, like astronomy knowledge, would be.
I think I wrote some astronomy knowledge a while back. And
What is
I
this
was-
even for?
I was-
That the
I was
sun
a little
reflects?
biased.
well that the
Off the
Underdark
moon.
people would know what the moon is. Maybe.
No, that's not what I was having to roll about.
he's
What, that
trying
the
to-
sun
that
reflects?
the
Like,
sun-
right, if
Why
you
does-
blow up the sun, is the
Well,
paladin
I
of
mean-
Salune gonna know that, like, wait, that's bad for me?
Well, obviously, I'm confident that he's not going to be able to blow up the
Gonna
sun.
blow up
The moon will be fine if he blows with the sun.
I'm gonna do it.
It will
I
be.
can see the news headline now. What are you gonna do? Blow up the sun?
Sun
blows up.
explodes.
Uh,
Look, we've run away from a dragon and a very tall mushroom.
We've also run away from a two-headed ape.
Right.
Yeah, with tentacles.
It feels like we should
Fuck,
probably face something,
I thought you
or
already
it's
froze.
all gonna come back
Didn't
later.
you all kill a dragon?
Yeah, we
We
did.
did
There's a
kill
different
dragon.
dragon.
Yeah, I'm wearing it.
Right, yeah, so...
Different dragon.
Saying you ran away from one dragon but hadn't killed another doesn't really...
One was
This
bigger.
was a bigger red dragon,
And
not
it was-
a little black dragon.
Yeah, it was big. It was not.
Alright.
The thing is that
fat,
we could
too.
we could
It's really
absolutely
fat.
take it right now, but at the time,
Well, it's a good thing you did run.
Wasn't it like your dad or something?
no, he was a work associate, twice removed.
Right.
I stole things that
The
people
dragon?
made from the furnaces that he lit.
I still.
Alright, listen.
Which makes you a work associate.
That's amazing.
I made money from what he helps
I'll
to
clip
create.
There you go.
There you go.
So
It's like profit sharing. It's fine.
look, we
Yeah,
Scalping.
taxes.
this whole
Yeah,
place is
taxes.
falling apart. We have to stop something.
I appreciate the sense of justice in you all of a sudden.
Look, it's not just it's hedging
because
bets.
we've been hanging.
It's, don't get it misconstrued.
It's hedging bets.
I'm at least willing to hear out the council tomorrow.
Well, Eldith chimes in too, and it's just like, are you staying here?
I mean, probably not. I don't know. I don't know if people up top are gonna like accept me. I'm not sure. In the unfortunate case that I'd have to come back here because I can't make it back to Gracklestug, the shining beacon of glory, on my own. I'd have to live somewhere, and it's better than
Neither shining
literally
nor
a cave.
It is.
I mean, this is mostly a cave, I understand, but this is better than... This is a civilized cave as opposed to uncivilized caves. So, leaving something... I don't know, this feels like...
those mind flayers are pretty civilized.
No.
I think he was into that though.
We destroyed pretty much their whole way of life. No way they're coming back at all, ever.
I don't know, my...
I hope not.
Okay, so if I'm being honest, I'm a little curious about what the Sultan of Slime is doing. What he's.
Where's that name coming from?
But that's what he called himself.
That is. Do you not remember?
You got hit pretty hard in there.
You did.
Oh, you know what? It might be, maybe you said it when I was entrapped in the slime. None of you pulled me out.
You
of.
probably still have some in your ears. It's hard
If
to
none
hear.
of us pulled you out of him, how are you here?
She
I
got
pulled
herself
myself
out of
out.
the slime.
Is that how you remember
That's
it?
not even a little bit how I remember it.
God. Shared delusions.
I was blacking out.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have drank so much before we went in there.
Do you... Could this be related to the thing that Wickham tried to go off and deal with?
Possibly. At this point, it wouldn't surprise me.
I've been
Do you-
saying it from the beginning. If there's a weird cult around a weird race, it's probably a demon lord.
Is there an ooze demon lord?
I don't remember that either.
May I?
History check.
May I roll a religion check?
Kevin's like, wow, I've been waiting for you guys to roll this for a while. 13.
13.
Wow.
Roll the same number.
It's a riddle.
And have the same modifier.
If you get the same number, you add it together.
It's true.
It's in player handbook page 2.
Actually, it's multiplicative, so
13
if
times
you know your
13.
times tables of 13 times 13.
169.
Let me pull out this little box where I can press the buttons down and see.
Yeah,
Never mind.
good stuff.
Yeah, there we go.
It was red
Sorry, I'm
Yep.
pulling up the proper
So it's
proper
clear,
article.
square,
here.
Yeah.
opaque. Yeah.
and yellow.
What do you mean proper
Yeah.
article? There's
Oh yeah.
it
Oh,
returns no results when you search slime demon lord.
yeah.
No, there is in fact an entry for this guy under Princes of the Abyss.
Oh.
Sleeman Lord.
Slime.
The
Wait.
Seaman Lord.
Oh,
Slime
spoiler
that
alert.
was on
A stain on reality.
Oh.
Is definitely a title of a section on this page. All right.
I mean, we definitely now know, if we weren't questioning it before, out of character, we know that there is in fact a demon lord related to slime.
It's like, wait, 13? Oh, you're not sure.
Becomes real difficult to roleplay.
so-
Right.
You probably never studied a bunch about Jewy Blex. But the Faceless Lord is
Oh boy, love it.
basically just an alien creature that is just this giant, massive ooze that all it is concerned with is consuming. It is consumed with the idea of consuming everything. Everything will be devoured, and everything will become part of the Faceless Lord.
Where have I heard that before?
When you went to the Stone Giant Library, it was a name that came up.
I don't think Jordan knows how to spell Jewy Blex. I don't know if he knows. J-U-I Blex with an X. Yeah, exactly. Just like I was saying.
Just mixed up.
Jeez, Yormik, get with the times.
I mean, Yormek definitely doesn't know how to spell.
That's
it, so it's
true.
fine.
He probably can't even read.
It seems likely. Seems
serviceably, but very much like second grader reading a complicated book level.
That big 10 intelligence score paying dividends right now.
11. I'll arm wrestle you.
Did you guys have like an arm wrestling competition today?
No.
No. This is the second
No, but
time.
we're going to
Oh.
Yeah, obviously.
on stream.
So there's maybe if we kill this one, Wickham comes back.
Who
I don't
cares?
see
That's
how
not a
that would
concern right now.
I mean, it's a little bit.
Wait, let's try killing Vera and seeing what happens.
Well,
Dangerous is this?
No, I'm kidding.
Try to break the
Try
fourth wall.
banishment up.
Yeah.
Oh, you're lucky.
So we could get him back, maybe.
I don't really follow how that would work.
I also could follow why.
I don't believe there was any logic in that statement.
There's plenty.
Alright, so it's a typical Jorvik statement that for some reason it's been a minute. It's been a minute. We're all tired from fighting slimes. Usually we just ignore when he says something like that, but like it's fine, I understand. Let's move on with this conversation.
Anyway,
When I said let's move on with this conversation, I mean, does anybody, not Jorvik, have anything else that they want to input on this? I mean, I think that we can't just leave this.
Well, there better be some more incentive tomorrow if they want us to finish the job.
Wait, so we know that Zogtami
And-
is a demon lord, right?
Yeah.
Zergtamoy? Yes.
Zogtamoy.
And if this pudding king or this sultan thing
Dewey Blacks.
is this Jubilex is actually, but for like they can't. I don't think we stood a chance against it. What did they expect us to do?
different name. I think so.
This is
Perhaps
Why do we think that the faceless lord is the pudding king or the sultan?
no.
of
Perhaps the Sultan of Slime
is
is trying to make.
Or Amigos.
He could just be possessed.
Well,
We've seen that
he
at least
also
once.
he also could be trying to make a suitable, I don't know, entrance
He's
for
probably
the
trying to
prepare for the
exactly
faceless.
like the
Myconids.
Myconids were for.
And perhaps we can stop that preparation.
Would be good.
It seems he
do
said
we-
they weren't
Do
ready.
we remember the name that
This is an opportunity.
that old NPC with the dead people in the spiral was trying to summon? Or was he the host of someone?
Oh, Shishar, not Shishar. The guy who
No.
killed Shishar.
Pupito.
Pupito
Pupito.
was trying to summon. So you knew, right? I remember this was a religion check that you didn't roll great on, but I also couldn't remember which deity was which. So you got both of their names and both of their things,
Yeah,
but
that's
not
right.
sure which one was which.
Yeah.
Like there was Dinkarazon and then
Yeah.
one other similar sounding name,
Yeah.
but no, those
Unrelated.
Pupito's
Cult.
Other
cult
One man
deity
cult.
peoples were not these guys.
Okay. That's right.
I think that we should. If he's not ready, then that means there's a chance to stop him from whatever he's planning to do still.
It's possible.
And that could mean stopping something that could result in a demon lord coming down on this place.
I don't
in
think that
advance.
Mushroom King person demon was ready either, and we ran away from that problem.
No, I think we were there as they were finished being ready.
I don't know.
We also didn't have an established civilization that was actively willing to help us.
That's true.
Pretty much the opposite. We could look if things start to go sideways. We watch out for ourselves first. We made it this far. We can figure out the surface. We know we're like 10 days away. So if things really get bad, we all leave.
If we survive.
I mean, obviously we will.
I mean, if
None of us have died. Well, okay, most of us haven't died yet.
If we don't survive, we don't have to worry
there
about
it is. Death's incoming in the near future. Yormik said it.
Not Kevin.
No, I've come pretty close twice now.
Yeah, but did you?
Not close enough.
But did you?
By pure luck.
I mean, either we could take advantage and leave, I suppose. Then this city probably falls, and we lose a contact.
So this is now the third demon lord that we've heard of.
Fourth, no, third.
Third demon lord that we've heard of. Probably. So we've seen two. Now we have suspicion that there's a third one. These are literally just the ones that we've happened across. How many are there? 7?
I mean, that's what Wickham
At least.
said.
Who could have known that they were all out here?
I mean, I would assume like maybe like some of the chief devils of whatever that plane is,
Nine hells.
the 9 hells.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume that, you know, maybe those devils would have known, but if only any of us would be able to talk to them.
I mean, I could ask. We could probably get in contact with them still.
Who?
I mean, you just have. I don't know. Wickham. All he had to do was die and beg for his life back. So maybe one of us kills the other one, and we
Oh,
see
that's a
if we
good
get
point.
the same offer.
That's a good point. I pull out my dagger.
Yeah.
I just go to I just go to poke at Yormik.
Make an attack.
I'll do it.
I mean, I don't know. I think
What's your health at?
full.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You're
I
fine.
feel like our best move right now is to wait till tomorrow. For once, I don't really have a plan, so I'm gonna see if they do.
Really?
Not really. I mean, we exhausted running away, and that got us here. It sounds like that's just.
We haven't been exhausted running away.
There's still plenty of running to do.
That's true. It hasn't worked so far.
I don't know. I'm still alive. The plans worked great for me.
Yeah, you weren't here for the first time though. It's like you've only run away one time.
I will say I would really like to see what's going to happen with these slimes.
Should we warn them that there might be a demon lord involved? I feel like it
Probably.
might go into their
Why not?
decision-making process. Yes, I think it would be a good idea. Jim Jar, do you want to go let them know?
Do you know how to banish a demon lord? You're pretty smart.
Well, we're gonna talk about.
I have the spell. I don't know how effective it would be.
We're gonna talk with them tomorrow.
We might
Yes,
we
but-
might have the opportunity to try it.
You're right. Well, I can only try it once.
Easy. Just don't miss.
It's
Well,
not a matter of missing. It's
But like, you just prepare it again, and so like
well,
try once a day.
once
We've
or
got
twice
infinite
per day.
days.
Speaking of once a day, what's your guess for the sword?
We guessed bite last time.
Mm-hmm.
Sting.
Sting?
What if it's sword? Or on.
Flamio.
Plug it back in again. What's Elvish for plug it back in again?
Turn it off and back on again.
So, we have all the information we have right now.
This is
Yeah,
true
that's accurate.
always, yes.
What a comment to come back.
Life needs things.
We're not
to
gonna
live.
get more.
You're keeping track of all your guesses, right?
We guessed Sting.
Right.
I'm sorry if you hate that guess.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking to me, but no, they guessed Sting.
You guessed.
It was wrong.
I was gonna
I
guess
guess
sword.
Sting. Which, after I set out, like the likelihood that it is, wasn't that like
Yes,
command
that's the
word
name
for it?
of Bilbo's sword.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't a command word. So
Yeah.
No, Sting isn't actually.
So what words do we track?
Sting and
bite and sting.
Right, so are we going to warn them of the demon lord today yet, or are we going to wait until that and spring that on them tomorrow during the council meeting?
I mean, if we
Just
tell
them
them
tomorrow.
if we tell them now, then we have to go tell another person, and then they're gonna talk about it tomorrow for the people that didn't hear about it already.
Right, well, we can skip all of that shit when we get there for the council.
Right.
So we should tell today.
Tomorrow.
Can we send someone to tell them?
Yeah, Jim Jar.
I mean,
Guys, I literally just got like tackled by a bunch of slimes.
Oh, I'm very aware. I'm not doing it.
Doing what?
I'll tell them that there's a demon on the gates of the city.
I mean, guys, they're assembling the council in the morning. We could probably just
All right.
make sure the council is aware before they make any
if you don't,
decisions.
if you don't want to do it, that's okay. I get it.
Also, yeah, I don't feel like walking over there.
Yeah, it's fine.
I
Did you
wanna
mention
drink
it
real
was
bad.
broken?
Never liked Jim Dore
Gestures to
more than
empty sword hilt.
We should get you a new one of those.
We should
Yeah,
ask for them to give us a new one.
This too. And Ildith's fellow. For her
Yeah.
shield.
And her like +3 armor that she had.
Oh, I think that was mine.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's my armor. My bad. You just fix me up with a new one. It's okay. It's only priceless. Cool. Anything else you guys are trying to do today? It's still relatively early in the day.
Organic.
Okay.
Honestly, I think we might want to consider our priorities on this now that with this information, it may, if we're talking Demon Lord versus whatever Ogre
Rocks.
Bane is, it may be useful to get whatever blessing it is that we could get from.
What does the Bane do again?
He controls elementals.
Ogrebox Bane is the entity in the rock plate that makes the elementals go nuts
Isn't
and
that-
not be controllable.
And that's like what used to run the city. Like the elementals help watch this.
You've seen a couple Earth elementals in the city, just none anywhere near that section of the
So-
city.
And I'm sorry, I think you've probably explained this to me before, but is this a sentient force or a natural force?
It is.
Do we know?
Yes.
Well, Gurnik will tell us because he's the one that knows about it.
That's true. We're at Gurnik's house now.
Yeah, we're Gurnik. Would you share the information about Ogremox Bane that we?
You find Gurnik
Wait,
wearing
if
his
that's how it
familiar
works,
red and
we're
gray
topside
robes.
now.
You've never.
All of the okay, we wish ourselves to be out of the Underdark. Okay, cool.
I'm
Well,
glad
a
I was
lot of
doing
time
what-
has passed. You've wandered for 3 years, and all the Zwerfneblin are dead.
I'm glad we banished those
that's
Demon
not
Lords
bad.
at level 17 now.
Yep.
It was a hell of a fight.
We're about to. It really was.
It really was.
But we all survived.
So you find Gurnik again at the Speaking Stones, and he greets you warmly. And you all look like you've been beat to hell.
Accurate.
And
Yep.
back.
The abyss, but yeah.
Potato, tomato. What can I do for you all? Greetings. It's good to meet you. The
Yeah.
rest of
Yes. First and foremost, this
their
is Vera.
companions.
You haven't
Hi.
met her before. This is Vera.
Hello.
This is Bryn.
Hello.
Greetings.
Jim Jar. Eldith. All right. Down to
You're Mac.
you were here last time.
I remember you.
So
You look a little younger. A little.
Appreciate it.
You look good. You look good for your age.
So, we've come with two things. The first is Vera, for quite some time now, ever since we've had our run-in with some Illithid, hasn't been feeling even close to up to top shape. Is there anything that you could do, like look at her and see if you can identify what is ailing her, perhaps?
Yes, insomnia.
Not sleeping well, huh? She's like comes up to look at you.
A lot of things, there are a lot of things not developed these right now.
I see. You see him grasp at the holy symbol around his neck and hold a hand out. It's the identify spell. No terrible surprises there. It's like.
I always forget that I can use that on
People.
non-magical items.
Cat casts another spell after that.
Stop.
Casts Dominate Gnome.
Old person.
I
It's
advantage
actually only
against
a
that
second.
save, okay?
Yeah.
Not this one, actually.
Well, there's nothing magically or medically wrong with you that I can tell just by observation, but if you say it's insomnia. Sometimes there's.
Are you a
No
licensed
real-
psychologist?
I am not.
Well, then I don't think you can help.
That's.
Why are you being so
entirely
mean?
possible.
Because I feel like I am on death's door and I've had the bad dick.
Well,
10 more points. Feel better. And
well, I can
fix your attitude.
I can certainly assist in that department if you wish, and holds another hand out and heals you.
Or after.
Heals you for 5 points because I rolled a
So
1.
now plus 25.
How you looking and feeling now?
Much better. I think. Wait, how long was it? Was it 5? You did 10 earlier, 15, then 10 more, 25. And then I'm at 30, like 40. So I'm looking pretty good.
All right, and then
Oh,
ooh,
better
and
than me.
you too, my dear. He says to Eldith.
This did not cure my grumpiness.
That's fair. And he heals Eldith for 7 points. You appear to have had a rough go of it.
Being engulfed by a slime is not a fun time.
I'd imagine so.
That's sort of a crime. I need to stop learning how to drive.
We started dealing. we had a run-in with an individual who calls himself the Pudding King, and he's got a horde of slimes out back by these former royal sphere. We have reason to believe that he's in service of Jewy blacks.
Juice box.
Juice box. We have reason to believe that he's in service of Jewy blacks. Jewy black.
Jello blocks.
That is most alarming. I suspect that is the reason for the summons I received earlier.
That's correct. So, unless you have any information on or thoughts on that, our consideration was we didn't forget about our offer to help you with Ogremark's Bane and restoring the temple, but we needed it with everyone present. I know we're a day past when we said we'd come to you, but
Things have been happening.
things have been happening.
No,
and
no,
we
no,
would like
no worries. I have heard word of your escapades in and out of the city. I know you're very busy people, and you owe no allegiance to this town or my temple. There's no
We do hope
no
to help
worries.
both, however, and as such, we brought everyone here to hear from you, sort of all the details of
I
this.
thought we came here for healing.
It was that, but
Tuesday.
then also
Oh,
information
Tuesdays.
about Ogre by Spain because
Yeah.
you guys didn't remember,
Yes, correct.
and you figured you'd swing by anyways.
Factual.
Well, of course. So, Ogre Mock's Bane is almost. It is an essence of a being. Have you heard of the elemental plane of Earth? I trust.
Have I?
I mean, it's not super.
I would hope so, but
Yeah,
you
that's-
know,
If you
don't roll a one.
if you know planes at all, you know that there are at least the
I
basic
know.
elemental planes. Well, Ogre Mock is a powerful, evil archamental from the elemental plane of Earth.
Archamental.
An archomental. ARCHO mental.
Cool.
They're basically like what a what are the? I'm just blanking
Elemental
on these
deity.
monster names.
Aarakocra?
No.
No.
What the a pit fiend, like how they're sort of like
Oh.
the tippy top of the food chain of non like specifically named devils and demons. Archimentals are sort of that paragon of that sort of type of creature.
Fiefdom, we get it.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. They're extremely powerful, and however, it is not Ogremok itself here in the Rock Blight. It is simply a not even sure precisely how it happened or how it arrived here, but it is this cloud of drifting, transparent dust that whenever it encounters an elemental creature, that creature seems to fall under its sway, whether that is madness and rampaging against the creatures that previously controlled it, or just either violence or abandonment. It is not good. That is why we do not allow elementals in the northeastern quadrant of the city.
Is this stuff visible?
At times, yes.
Glowing, kind of yellowish color.
No.
Okay.
That is the Phaserus.
Okay.
Yes.
So not the phasers. I didn't know if maybe we just called it different things.
No, it's important to be on the same page.
Would
Do you know anything about the phasers?
I know it has become all the more commonplace in recent months, and if what you say about the possible presence of Juiblex is true, then, well, the two are almost certainly not coincidental.
How so?
Well, you know that Juiblex is one of the demon princes of the Abyss, yes?
Yes.
Well, a powerful demonic presence such as that affects the very environment that it's in.
So the demons could potentially. Oh gosh, that pizza's gonna be gone.
Oh yeah. Oh god, Zatua's alive. Everybody run.
I will kill you all!
Found Juiblex.
Oh hey, bud.
Dewey Black?
All he wants to do is consume.
Oh my god, Juiblex is here. Everybody run! He's gonna eat all of the
Zatu,
pizza
no.
and turn it into.
No, Zatu!
Oh god. You're choking me a little bit.
It's not even wicked. You don't even know Vera. Oh wait, yeah.
That's right.
Oh hey.
I'll stay out here.
Our number one fan, Doug Rice, is in the
No
house.
wonder chat is
Damn it, we're
silent.
down a viewer.
Hit your ass when we get on Twitch.
Our viewership has tanked by like 33%. Oh man.
Anyway,
Any hoozles.
Phaserus
But
being
yes.
tied to.
I was just saying that is likely not a coincidence.
See, we've had the same suspicions. No one we've talked to has been able to tell us much about the Phaserus, where it comes from, what it is, and so I didn't know if maybe you knew something more about it.
Well, even I don't know all there is to know about the Phaserus, but it is a field of chaotic energies, but the source of which I do not know.
Chaotic energies, you say.
Yeah, grab more ice, Anson.
Tell him to be fucking quiet.
Oh, Jameson, did you get him already?
Is there any chance that
6, I think?
the
Oh.
Phaserus could be...
7 devils. So this is 8.
Gosh, that'll do
The
it.
Phaserus could be utilized instead of
Suffer.
Yeah.
Well, the phasers, while volatile, does have some perks to its existence. I mean, it, I'm sure you know, it gives off light. It tends to
I'm not crazy about that.
dampen sound beyond a certain radius.
Totally knew that.
I've definitely said that before. That it's just like,
yeah,
it kind of like mutes it, so it just sound
I
doesn't carry as
I always
freely.
thought of it like a heavy snowfall.
Oh, okay. Cool.
It has strange. It can have strange effect with spell casting and other magical effects.
Seems to have gotten worse lately.
Was that what happened?
Prolonged exposure can also have some peculiar and at times unfortunate side effects.
Yep. Ah, yes. I remember that.
Yeah. Well,
I've never drank so much in my life.
So, is there any way to get rid of it, or is it just here until whatever's causing it is removed?
That I do not know. If there is a way to interact or manipulate the phasers in any way, I am not aware of it.
Well, as far as the long-term effects go, a few of us have already encountered this a few times.
That's true.
Maybe this is something we can negotiate for tomorrow.
Possibly.
Speaking of tomorrow, are you familiar with, or have any idea of what tactics Blingdenstone may use to help quell this threat? We're very powerful, but it seems surprising that just the addition of us and some crazy rat people would be enough to take this down.
As far as tactics, I know not what the city has planned. It also depends on who our enemy is. I fear that if it is Dweeblex in the city, that any assault would likely prove to be folly. But
What of this blessing you spoke of in the event we're able to restore your god's temple? Would this
the
be of
blessing,
service?
it would be. Wait, what?
Would this be useful for this venture?
It is very possible. The blessings of. Oh damn, what's his name?
Yeah, I didn't remember either. That's why I keep saying your god.
Gurnik.
Why should it be your god?
Gurnik Ecclesduke.
Gurney.
The blessings of Lord Kalarduran take many forms.
I see.
That's big.
It is. And by restoring this, what was the orb? What was it called again?
It's a spell gem.
Hallowed scale. That's right. So maintaining.
It's a ruby spell gem, which I originally thought that it was only as high of a level spell as the spell Hollow was, which is 5th level. But a ruby spell gem can in fact hold up to a 8th level spell.
Oh my gosh. So this.
He didn't give it to you, for the record.
No.
So wait,
So by bringing this and placing it at your temple and allowing it the time to hollow the earth, is that going to eliminate Ogremock's Bane? I don't recall if that's the case or if it's just going to kind of make a pocket in the rock blight that'll be.
The spell will take some time to take hold. And no doubt Ogremock's Bane will have something to say about it. But
probably won't
once
understand
the
who speaks
temple is
Barbardi.
cleansed, you should hopefully, we would hopefully be able to remove Ogremok's Bane from this plane.
So we take a rock, put it in the temple, and it becomes the rock temple.
Pretty much, yeah.
What was the name of the
The deity?
Yeah.
Kalar Durin Smooth Hands. Callar.
Way off. C-L-L-A-R.
Durin, D-U-R-A-N. And then Smooth Hands, spelled exactly like you'd expect.
S-M-E-W-T.
Smooth.
or something.
I need to get a tablet with a
Oh, big day tomorrow. Oh, perhaps we should visit our friend with the magical items.
No, it's not going to have. We were just with him yesterday, Yomek.
Right, but if we're gonna go take on the rocks, we need the pickaxe.
We don't. We.
We could leave something with him on collateral.
I see.
Or get cash fronted from the,
Also, there's several
Or just-
options.
I don't know,
The world of finance is very complicated.
rent it, get it on consignment now. Do we need this pickaxe for more than fighting these rocks?
Probably not. I kind of want it, but probably not.
But nonetheless, I want it.
I think we definitely need it for this. There's never going to be a better time to have
Want
them
it?
right now.
Yes. Need it?
Probably.
It's a very expensive item for something that we probably don't need.
Do I know whether or not rocks are typically resistant to fire?
Try throwing a firebolt at the wall.
I have done that.
How
You
did it
seem
work?
impervious.
Listen. I'm just saying the water elemental wasn't resistant to fire.
Look,
so
man.
it's possible. Anything's possible.
my favorite fact of the game.
No, apparently
Water
I'm
elemental was not
resistant.
resistant to fire.
Everything else is resistant to
The
fire
tree.
except the water.
Apparently I'm resistant.
Yep. Everybody. It's
And
like that's the most common damage type in the game or something.
My last name's not Stein.
It's almost like it's balanced.
Yeah,
Um,
almost like that.
Wait, you didn't have an accent there. Never mind.
I mean, so you not really sure if they'd be resistant or not.
Guys, we have a live audience today.
We
Wow.
do.
Look at
Live
that.
studio audience.
Gurnik.
You guys have all the permission to laugh for a laugh track.
Gurnik,
It's not a laugh.
Nailed
it's
it.
not.
Done.
in your efforts.
I need a button that is Anson's
For the
laugh.
record, I'm trying my best to not be disruptive.
Oh, you're good.
We appreciate
Stop
that.
talking.
Continue your game, please.
I'm sorry,
We-
I haven't seen.
I
know regard.
Do you know if
Very excited.
earth elementals are particularly resistant to anything? Should we go to fight them? Is there any specific way that we should go about this?
I don't know of any particular. Well, they are very well protected from physical damage.
That's right. I have a lightsaber.
I imagine.
Seems to make sense.
I imagine Eldith's hammer, when fixed, is probably the most effective of our weapons against them.
I would beg to differ.
It seems the opposite.
I have a lightsaber.
I have magic
It's
missile.
literally just
Of our mundane weapons.
Yes. Okay, that seems reasonable.
that's fair.
I think we should get.
I also imagine that lightning probably doesn't do much against them.
They're probably very grounded.
I behead Vera.
I'm
I don't
gonna
know, but
go.
now they're immune to lightning, no matter what the book says.
I'm gonna go talk to the guy.
What guy?
The guy with the magic items.
Why?
Because I want the pickaxe.
You don't have enough
don't have
money.
enough-
I'm gonna ask him for it anyway. That's
Oh.
fine.
Okay.
He's going to pay him with his body.
And Yormik left off screen to find out that he didn't
Sure.
have enough money.
Yormek walks away.
Yep.
Your make stage left.
So, I guess we should find out what they have to say at the meeting tomorrow, and we can determine whether we want to take care of Ogremok's Bane first, or take care of this ooze. At first, it sounded like the ooze was less of a challenge, but perhaps this will be a means to completing that task.
Well, one's an Archamental and the other is a Demon Lord, so...
Yeah, I know.
I still don't
Priorities
really
have
understand
shifted.
how they are related.
They're not.
Oh.
It's
I
one
think they're like
stronger
second
than the other.
cousins on their mother's
I
side.
meant you said it was not a coincidence that they were probably both here.
Juiblex and the Phaserus.
Oh,
Yeah.
alright.
Ogremax Bane showed up over a century ago.
Oh.
Holy smokes. Ah, that's fine. We can handle it. We're like
Minor
level 7.
details.
Yeah.
It's fine. I mean, it might not even be as old as you, so who knows?
True.
Yeah.
Sounds like they've dealt with it for long enough.
Yeah.
They
Seems
can
like
deal with
it
it
can't
for
be
long.
that big of a deal. It sounds like they're just lazy.
Oh,
All
I'm
they
sorry you
needed,
don't get your servants.
all they needed to do was walk
Why don't
out
you try,
and
why
put
don't you
this
try subjugating over
sword
half the
jam out
population
there.
like Gracklestug?
Hey, we would have dealt with this in a week.
All right.
I just send as many slaves as it takes.
Maybe we should get
But it's
that.
fine.
Maybe we should get that feline fellow to help us with.
Isn't he
rock
dead? What happened?
fight. You might as well.
No,
be.
he fights them.
He fights the ghosts or the rocks?
The ghosts.
Gotcha.
Ghosts can't be that different to fight than rocks, though.
Right. If only. I mean, it's, yeah. I'm not here. I'm talking to guy
Yeah.
with magic items.
That's true. Bye.
Yeah.
All right. Well, regardless, we're
Well,
not doing anything.
We'll head back to the foaming mug.
Yeah.
Okay. You show up at Dendru's small shop.
Dendru, my friend, we are coming to the aid of your city and freeing you from a burden you've faced for over 100 years. But in order to do so, I will need some assistance. The pickaxe that you hold may be your city's best chance to defeat this. And unless you want to go in yourself, I think we need to work something out. I'm going to pull out the Gauntlet of Chaos. This is an ancient artifact. It's been held in Gracklestug for over 20 years. We found it while excavating the deepest mines in the Horrorstone tunnels. Perhaps as collateral, not even to keep this pickaxe, I could leave this with you and utilize it in defense of your great city.
Make a deception check at disadvantage.
Reasonable.
But I'm giving you DM inspiration in general because that was a great bullshitted thing.
That was pretty good.
Oh,
but
okay.
DM.
Inspiration.
So does the
Immediate.
inspiration mean he gets to reroll one
Straight
more,
roll.
or
Yeah. Right? It's replace?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's a 2.
I
It
saw.
can't,
I
it
saw.
can't be worse. Natural
Oh, Jesus.
He just net 20 on trying to convince him to take his Gauntlet of Chaos as collateral to hold on to that pickaxe that was like 8,000 gold or something.
Really
Something
so happy
ridiculous.
if after we were like, you're never gonna get this, he just comes back with this stupid picture.
Oh my god. And then he's gonna be like, we're leaving the city.
Guys, we have to go right now. Oh,
Burn
man.
every possible bridge we can in the Underdark.
It's fine. I'm not coming back here.
We've done that literally a couple times.
Yeah.
He seems surprisingly moved by your arguments.
Amazing.
This gauntlet is interesting, but I'm gonna need a little more collateral.
Sure.
How about your city?
I can give you another 100 gold. It's all I have. I'm giving you what I have. Everything else I have on me, I need in the defense of your city. If I didn't need it, I would give it to you.
Your move, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean,
You're gonna get it back after we're done. You're either gonna get it back or we're gonna buy it from you because we like it so much. So this is a win-win.
all right. Well, this 100 gold. This is a deposit. You're not getting this back.
Yeah,
either
no,
way.
that's completely understood.
Reaches into his silly little satchel on his waist. and pulls out this pick that was far too large for it.
Can you even use this thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he can, because he's a dwarf.
Yeah.
Let's go.
This happened.
Oh, that's
This
great.
literally
We
happened.
all laughed at him. We all laughed
This
at him.
actually just freaking
The
happened.
2016 election. All
Give me the
over again.
Gauntlet of Chaos
Yep.
card
I can do
and
that.
mark off your gold.
Yep. It's gone.
If you mention door now, you can go with both.
I mean, the pickaxe. the pickaxe
Just
is
gone.
The pickaxe is gonna break in the fight. There's no doubt about that.
Oh no,
So-
it's deeply susceptible to acid. Oh no.
Oh, who knew?
The one magic item that is.
It was equally magical acid. Oh.
Oh.
What are you doing?
You want to see the magic cards?
Yep.
Durnan, your greatness will not go unappreciated. When they name part of the city after our group, but especially
What'd you
me.
just call him?
Du-
Did you say Durnan?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's on this boat over here. This is not Durnan.
What's his
This
name?
is Dendru.
Dendru, my man. Look,
I also think you said during it. It's good.
Voracious.
Dendru, probably a lot of names, and yeah.
Rebranding at its finest.
When they name part of the city after our group, and especially me, your name will be on the cornerstone of that building.
What building?
The one they name after us. We just went over that.
You're not
Sword
there.
City.
Cornerstone?
Understood. It's a very advanced architecture.
Someone's watched the campaign too.
How did we get
My
pigeons
references
in the
are old
Underdark?
but solid.
Understood.
I can't make bat noises. I'm sorry.
I mean, can we hear bad noises?
I can.
I
I will walk
It's still one
away.
of my favorite moments in this campaign.
I will walk away, back to the inn, using the pickaxe as a cane.
So, you're all back at the foaming mug.
Can you believe
You've been sitting there.
Pickaxe out of the
There's
sky?
no way. This is such a waste of time.
You just you were all served, and you hear a distant like tink, 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 metal on stone. Your McBrewmantle, Iron McHandled man, opens the door to the foaming mug.
I am holding my beer, tipping it, and literally just like it like trickles into my lap.
By the Moon Maiden.
Yeah.
What?
We just talked.
Do we need to leave right now?
No,
Did you
Is
steal
Dylan
this?
alive?
it's fine. No,
Did you
Dendru-
kill him?
Dendru's
Did you kill him?
No, he's a really good guy.
Does he know you have this?
Yeah.
What did you do?
He gave it to me. I gave him the glove.
What glove?
And what else?
What the glove? The glove that you've had this whole time.
What kind of deal did you make?
I gave him
used,
that.
like-
I gave him that, and I
Wait.
gave him 100 gold.
How,
and I
how
convinced
powerful
him.
is that glove?
Wait, that glove's magic?
Yeah.
What does that glove do?
Not much.
Why haven't you used it before?
I don't. What?
It does 500 gold worth of a magic item. But I mean, he understood. I made a plea. I said, look, we just need to borrow this for a little while to fight some rocks, and then we're gonna give it back. Surprisingly, it's gonna shatter when we fight the rocks. It's
Last time I put this much effort into getting a magic item,
planning to con.
the rest of my party messed it up.
That's
for me.
what's
Oh, it's
going
not going to break. I get this.
It's, not,
Okay.
it's going to break in air quotes. Use air quotes there. Okay, you want to make
yeah.
That's pretty shitty.
Break.
quotes? Also, I know you don't really read quotes. You know what? I'm not a great teacher, and I don't think you are a good student. So,
But I do
we'll
have
just
the
move
pickaxe, so we'll just take the wins as we can.
I guess so.
Quest, I will say this is maybe the most impressive thing I've seen. I've seen you kill a
Maybe.
lot of enemies.
I mean, this is up
What do
there
you mean,
maybe
maybe?
pretending to be a drow.
I was gonna say the last time we had a really good bullshit moment that like almost worked was in the drow.
It was
outpost.
I like that
close.
we're never there. Oh yeah, that
That one was really good.
that was really good.
For a lot of time, we're not there when he pulls off the
I guess this is your second
I was thinking of the silks.
ever.
Which wasn't a great.
I mean, I suppose that's
but he did
probably it.
Sorry, I'm feeling really sick when you were impersonating the drow.
I just make myself smell like poop. I'm feeling sick. Goodbye.
Oh god.
All right. Well, I'm ready to fight anything.
No, you're probably not. You probably need rest, considering how many fireballs you lost.
Pretty sure you also have to
earlier.
attune to that.
I do. I'm gonna. Oh, I have such good things to attune to right now.
Well, while you figure that out,
Yeah.
let's go to bed. There's no way I can handle
Okay,
any
just
more
get rid of the
surprises
stone.
today after this one.
Stone Taker Crystal Stone.
All right.
That's the reason
So
we
you
really need it. We can buy-
Relax, tend to your wounds, eat and drink through the rest of the afternoon and evening, and eventually, unless anybody's doing anything special,
I would like-
you have to reset your amulet. Maybe.
Oh. Can we try that once per day, or is it potentially one? So I reset this
Well, so
morning.
it takes like several hours to do. Did you use it today?
Yeah, I reset this morning before we left, and then I used it today.
You can do it for this overnight, for the long rest.
Big idea.
13.
13 total?
Yeah.
I don't think that's enough.
DC 15.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you have DM inspiration from another session?
Yeah, no, I don't actually.
Okay.
In fact, I don't even use it on that.
Okay. Well,
I used it last session to make the slave to get out of the slime.
right.
Yeah.
Good choice. Good choice.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
yeah,
it worked.
so eventually, sleep finds you all. You wait like 10 seconds.
Actually, that's me. That's good.
When
And you all, you all go to sleep for the night, and we'll take a quick break because I'm thirsty.
and
Ooh.
I have something I want to do while Yormik's sleeping.
Deal.
Not to Yormik.
Okay.
That's all right. Be right back.
Uh huh.
And we're back.
Hey.
Hello.
So you all awaken in the morning,
No, we don't.
well rested. Except not yet, because you're all still asleep and Nero's praying or something.
Yeah, so I would be up before him because I don't have to rest as long.
Sure.
For a long rest. And for just a minute, I don't know how private I can be with Dawnbringer with me, but I'm sort of going to like kind of reach out to that other voice that speaks to me right now, and so this is the third. Now it seems Demon Lord that we're going to be having to deal with. I don't suppose you have any insight on this one either. You've been awfully quiet of late.
There's no immediate response. And then you hear a voice in your head. Who are you talking to?
Don't worry about it, Dawnbringer.
Just one of those girlfriends.
I've
Who are you
got,
trying to talk to?
as you know, I'm a
Is she pretty?
paladin.
Is she prettier
That
than
was
me?
it.
Lune. Just trying to communicate. It's been difficult of late.
Things are tough in your current relationship, huh?
That's
Don't worry,
true.
I'm here for you.
Communicate with whom?
Moon Maiden.
Roll a
I
deception
see.
check over against the sword in your head.
I am not terribly surprised that making connection with her is so difficult in this place.
Why is that?
Well, can you imagine the last time the moon shone upon the rock here?
No.
The Underdark is the territory of Shar, is it not?
It is.
Sure.
It's all obscuring my connection. It'd be nice to be out of here soon. Well, what do you think, Dawnbringer? What do you think of these demon lords and this Jewy blacks?
I think we should drive them all out.
We certainly have an accord on that. What of this Ogremok's bane?
Ogremok is not an entity I had heard of prior to my time traveling with you.
I see. Don't mind me. I'll be focusing for now. I don't know if you need rest, but be ready for this coming day.
Yeah, don't mind me just recharging the old batteries. The old divine battery.
Got a lightning cable.
And I'll just, at that point, I'll kind of just like
Brent, can I get a charge?
meditate for the remainder of the night.
Okay. So eventually, your companions all stir and rise for the morning. Being the first one up, I would assume that you make sure everyone is up on time to reach the meeting.
Yeah, I definitely wake Yormik up by pinching his nose.
Shock. He just starts.
Shocking.
This is tame for you.
We're fighting today, probably.
That's true. I almost didn't wake up. It's fine.
I mean, I guess I would have had a new pickaxe.
Look, you've deafened me to wake me up.
I've never deafened. Oh, well, yes, I have. On second thought, you're right.
I've I've never. Oh, yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
I have.
Oh yeah.
No, oh wait, there was that one time.
That's fine. Let's go talk to these people whose language only I and Jim Jar understand.
Yeah, I'll be relying on Jim Jar and Bryn to translate.
Can the stone speaker crystal do comprehend languages or something?
I am not attuned.
It can speak with everything that's not already alive and speaking a comprehensible language.
Okay.
Is anyone not? Never mind. It's another
All right, let's go ask the plants
Now,
what we should do.
if the thing that's speaking a different language is a plant, I think it works.
Just plant that.
Fair point. Okay, Senny says, "Is Senny a plant?" Just like interrupt everything. Are they a plant?
Is she a plant? Is she a rock?
Did
Is
you
she
eat a
undead?
salad yesterday? 'Cause I'm pretty sure I can handle this.
Alright.
Okay. So you all head over.
Oh yeah, easy. For real.
I'm trying to not double monster it today, and it's already showing. So you all head over to Diggermatic Hall in the morning. When you arrive, most of the others have already gathered here. You see a fair few familiar faces, as well as several faces that you don't yet recognize, as well as actually a spirit, a ghost that is in the room with everyone. But Senny greets you warmly. Good morning, Underlight. Thank you for attending our meeting this morning. We'll get started in a few moments when the last few arrive.
I stifle a yawn.
Do I have any idea what this spectral being is?
Make a religion check.
Not who, but what.
It's not 12.
10.
Looks like a ghost.
Alright, checks out.
Looks like any ghost you've ever seen
Looks
for
like
the most
a
part.
ghost, guys.
Is it the ghost part?
It's a ghost of a Zrifneblin male.
It looks like we missed one.
Does he have both his hands?
Yes. Throwback.
Ooh, awkward. Sorry about that. That's what happens when you don't complete quests.
All right. So, not too much later,
Poor guy.
a few minutes later, you hear some
He's dead already.
heavy footfalls approaching, and a few moments later, Orla arrives alongside. Orla was the person who met you outside of the town with the large earth elemental.
That's right.
Stalagmite.
Yep. Stalagmite.
Classic.
And she arrives alongside another female Zrifneblin that you recognize from the day earlier that Senny called Nomi.
Spelled with a G or an N? Or both?
N. And an I. Yeah.
6 million.
So Senny addresses the room. It's just like, greetings, Council of Blingdenstone. Thank you all for your attendance this morning. There is no use in beating around the bush, so to speak, so we'll get right to it. The threat of the oozes and the Sultan of Slime in the northwestern section of the city is growing beyond our ability to contain, and we must address it before it becomes too far gone. There are oozes all over that portion of the city, and our new friends here ventured in there just yesterday. Would you care to speak to your experiences again?
Take it away.
So, I would describe it as cataclysmic. We nearly died, and there was an endless horde of oozes.
I was kind of hoping that you would just stop. I would describe it as cataclysmic.
That's it.
Just leave it off.
We went in, the information that we got from Goldgrin, Chipgrin. The information we got from Chipgrin led us to what we thought was the right place, and we made it to the very top of the dome without seeing another soul. At least we thought, other than the slimes, and then we all heard a voice that said we could join the Faceless One, which we believe is a reference to, as Garnick will, I'm sure, explain later, one of the demon lords that is about to run amok in the Underdark. We believe that there may be a possibility to stop his arrival if we act quickly. We can't do this alone, and it's something that we'd need the full strength of Blingdenstone, both old and new, in order to take down.
That was good. I don't feel like I need to correct anything.
Good job.
I mean, some of it was wrong, but it was good.
So it's fine.
Like 90,
It's like an A-.
maybe 80%. It's pretty good.
It's fine. Nobody farted. It's totally fine. Chip Grin's like, my bad. Sorry. It's the mornings they get me. Thank you for your testimony, Yormik. But quickly, allow me to make introductions here. I'm sure there are some new faces that your group would not recognize. Obviously, you know Dorbo and myself and Chipgrin here. This is Kazook Pickshine, she says, gestures to one of the males Verfneblin in the room. He is the representative from the Miners Guild. The Pickshine family are a vaunted name in our mining industry in Blingdenstone.
What was his first name?
Kazook, Kazook.
Kazuka, got it.
Kazook. Bazooka picture. Then here is Orla Turfbender, who I know you've made acquaintance with before. She is here along with Nomi Pathshutter and Gurnik as the representatives of the Stoneheart Enclave. And last but not least, this is Burrow Warden Jaeger. She says, gesturing to the spirit that is in the room with you. Burrow Warden, and I'm pretty sure it's not how it's supposed to be pronounced, but I say Jaeger, so it's Jadger, because there's no satisfying way to say that I liked. So.
Yeah, I get your better bias.
Jadger.
Jaeger. Yeah, Jaeger sounds better.
Jager.
He is a representative of the French. Rock le Bleu. Thanks. DM inspiration for the DM.
Yep, I'm in.
Haha, I'm gonna get him now. I missed this attack? No, I didn't.
Do I know? Yeah.
Do I know?
Bardic inspiration.
Bardic
That's all I can do.
inspiration. Yes. Burrow Warden Jaeger here has been training a new generation of Burrow Wardens here in Blingdenstone. They were the protectors of our people a long time ago, but tragically, most of, if not all of most of the order fell during the Drow invasion, or not long after. And here is Trisk Adamantilpiece. He is the most promising of Jaeger's trainees. Trisk is Trisk.
Look really good with one of these for a hand. Sorry.
He's Eager's what?
Training.
One of the people being trained as a borough warden.
Is a borough warden just someone who protects Blingdenstone, or do they have specific?
The borough wardens were protectors of the city and protectors of like mining expeditions and occasionally like trade caravans. So they think of them as sort of like a special breed of like Blingdenstone ranger, even though they're not technically rangers from a mechanical game standpoint.
Mhm.
It's just kind of the role that they fill.
Sure.
They're pretty cool.
And who's here representing Lollipop King?
You short
And then,
stuff.
of course, I know at least Jim Jar here knows good Dendrew, who has joined us as well.
Dangers of the council?
How did he get an invite? What the?
So he's probably your black market, or like
Dude, they have they
Everybody
seem-
needs a guy.
Yeah, true.
He's Blingdenstone's guy.
Yeah.
So then, the question at hand is, what can we do about this ooze threat, and that of the Pudding King, or the Sultan of Slime, as he apparently likes to call himself?
All the time.
Really insists on it.
He's gonna be upset if you get it wrong.
He makes the ooze's rage if you call him the wrong name.
What would your plan be against a more physical threat?
Well, so Dorbo chimes in. Well, I mean, we might not have to fight all of them. Maybe if we can somehow get to this Sultan of Slime. I mean, because the oozes, well, I don't know, they've got something that's making them work together intelligently. If we can get them back into that sort of mindless state that they're usually in, that would certainly bode well for our chances. From what Breckland was telling me, it sounds like that from a numbers game, a true full-scale attack on them probably is not going to turn out in our favor. But if we were to mount that sort of assault, I mean, the best place, in my opinion, to mount it from would be from the Temple of the Steadfast Stone. But that's not currently accessible. But they would probably also be aware that those tunnels are blocked off. So if we could somehow clear them out, it would certainly give us an element of surprise.
It's the Temple of the Steadfast Stone. What's his name? Smooth Hands place?
Yep.
Okay, so it is.
But that would be the best for an all-out assault, which we just said would probably not work out in our favor.
Chipgrin chimes in. It's just my were-rats and my clan are willing to lead whatever charge that this council agrees is the best course of action.
It's very noble of you, Chipgrin. But
Well, our more bestial nature does tend to make us a bit hardier than the average Sverfneblin, so it seems only fair.
I think if if what you all are saying is correct, and outright assault would not likely work in our favor, then
However, if we played the cards right, the assault could just be a diversion. We don't necessarily need to fully commit people into harm's way, but if we can at least draw the attention of the slimes to a different force, and maybe a force that could keep them at bay, not necessarily turn it into a bloodbath, then when we go to that palace again to try and find this Sultan of Slime, perhaps it'll buy us some time before we get collapsed on by all of those additional slimes like we did last time.
that's a good point.
We're also assuming that the slime sultan is in there.
That's true, but even if he's not, at least that will give us time to verify he isn't in there.
Verify it.
That's pretty good.
I can also sort of do some scouting, depending on how much time we have. I can begin to look into the what?
The last time that you brought your arcane eye
Yeah.
into the Phaserus, it had a not stellar effect.
Oh, that's right.
Well, it was at least feeling bad, and then you like cut it off before anything actually happened. But you definitely would have remembered that sensation that was,
Worth it.
at the very least, unpleasant.
That's right. Never mind. I can't do that.
So, seems to me like what we want is to get to the Sultan. Do we have? I don't know how, but if we could draw him out somehow.
Seems
Unlikely.
unlikely. He's right where he wants to be. If he had the desire to come forward, I think he would have by now. He
But-
would.
Right.
But he's-
oh, sorry.
But he's trying. He's trying to do something.
But it's not ready yet is the idea.
But he's after some, like he has once. If we can figure out where he is or figure out what he's after. I don't know.
what he's after seems pretty evident.
It
the
seems-
destruction of Blingdenstone.
It seems like fighting the slimes. What does that get? What does that get us?
I don't think.
A distraction, but we were able to make it into the palace.
Right, but we wouldn't be able to make it past without drawing the attention of everything in that room.
And let's assume that we find him in there and we don't have somebody on the outside to prevent additional slimes from joining the fray.
There is much more of Blingdenstone behind the royal sphere as well. That is not the edge of the city in itself.
So they could.
There are
they
more
could
caves and
enter,
tunnels
They
beyond.
could enter from both sides.
Well, or he could be.
No, like, okay, so you were in that room with the giant sphere, but there are other tunnels to other caverns further north and west of that position.
That he
It-
could be in.
Yes.
I see.
I think.
But again, my concern is that we take a big group of people, throw them at slimes, a bunch of them die, he makes more slimes, and we take longer to make more people.
It's like trying to empty the ocean or put out the sun.
Right.
We can't. I don't.
Caligula's got a point.
What?
Said Caligula's got a point. It's the guy, the crazy king from an old story that sent his army out to attack the ocean because he was
Yeah.
pissed at Poseidon.
Oh.
So they just went and like stabbed at the
Yeah.
ocean, and it was just like, all right, you moron, whatever.
Yep.
So do we? So the question is, do we think he's in the dome? Because if we think he's in the dome, then we need to repeat what we've already done.
But regardless of whether he's in or not, and I'm still not suggesting a full frontal assault on the slimes,
Just something.
just if when they approach, the additional forces that we bring can handle slimes as they come at them, and they can always
Maybe enough to form a wall.
How many earth elementals
More or
do you
less.
have?
Currently, at least almost a half a dozen.
Could you create more?
We could summon a small number more, yes, but at that point we would be overloading our
If
mages capable of controlling them.
if we were to
Sorry,
Oh,
Gurnik also chimes in at this and just says that, well, the other problem with that would be that Ogremok's Bane makes bringing any elemental into this battle a great risk. It could backfire tremendously.
but if we cleanse
Temple.
the temple first,
Perhaps the blessing would bring more forces to help us with the second.
would there
assault.
be more elementals that we would be able to?
Employ.
any?
It is possible. I'm not sure how many elementals roam within the Rock Blight at present. I know we ourselves have lost almost half a dozen over the year or so. That
Would you need more blessings? Would you need more mages to control the ones that are roaming the Rock Blight?
if they could be cleansed of the madness of Ogremok's Bane, it is possible. However, they could just as easily just leave. The Earth Elementals are not innately overly aggressive or malevolent, but they may very well just go on their way.
Mm-hmm.
Is this Earth Elemental summoning something that you think you could teach some of us?
It is, well, I guess that is more Nomi's department. He looks to her, and she's just like, it's not a quick process to learn, but it can be taught, yes.
Could be one or two.
Well, it sounds.
One. Probably one.
How long would it take?
Depends on your aptitude mostly, and your training up to this point.
We can discuss this later. I don't want to derail this too much.
Without clearing the temple, it doesn't matter how many we create.
Right.
But it feels like a wall of earth elementals and a few bows launched from the back and some were rats towards the front.
It will at least prevent us from being
The
surrounded.
full
Overrun.
focus. Or we could investigate further into the dome or around
And further
the
into
outside.
the other
Perhaps
cavern.
in trebuchets.
That's more of my concern, is we leave the cavern with
Well, then
the
if we
royal dome
all we
and we
need
go
to,
further in
right,
and
and
they collapse on us.
it's possible, but we have ways of communication. If things start to go south, then we just run.
Right, but having that backup line that we just described will make it much more safe, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Agreed. Well, also
The other-
What's that?
Which backup line specifically?
So like having the elementals slash the were rats, like having that
The
force.
Blingdenstone force.
Yeah, having the
backing
Blingdenstone
us up.
force with us, not necessarily further past the dome,
But attacking the
in the
slimes
dome
that are-
cavern
Yeah.
as a backup in the event that we need to explore further to find this.
Or like an active distraction.
Yeah,
Like sending the earth elementals up to fight.
Well, yeah, that was sort of what you were talking about already, right? Was sort
Yeah.
of a distracting attack
One or
in,
Yeah.
in the vein of the assault on the Black Gate kind
yeah,
of deal.
and we're saying that the
The other-
the earth elementals are pretty
The
central.
other thing
for
we
that
can
work
do
as well.
would be if we're not going into the sphere, we're just staying out in the more open tunnel. The four of us go, knowing that you can step two of us out and you can make two of us fly out.
Right.
I feel like going in. So that's
If-
true.
Seems option might be to take me out while I make two others fly, because
Or-
then I'd be able to concentrate on safety.
Perhaps we use the same tactic we did with in the city of the Myconids. I could turn invisible. You could make me fly, and we could scout a bit more in the cave.
I don't think that the slimes see with their eyes.
Sure, but if I'm high enough up, think they'll be able to.
There are slabs in the ceiling. It's hard to see.
We also don't know how the Sultan is
It's fair.
aware of us.
I think we have
We didn't see him in that dome, and he seemed to know we were there.
any. I don't think us going in alone is. That's a recipe for failure. Either they will pincer us, or we will never get past the dome.
Pincer.
We-
You're making us
He's
strategy.
understanding, he's learning.
I'm getting there. There's certain death.
We've been
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah. We need some force, and if we want to spare the most lives, the best force is the elementals.
Absolutely.
So the next move, before we do anything else, needs to be this temple. We can leave the council to figure out the exact lines to the rest of it.
I agree.
Nomi chimes in, says, I also agree. However, there is one more elemental that could prove to greatly increase our likelihood of victory. What?
Stalagmite?
If we were to locate Entomoc's boon, and its summoning circle could be put to use, that would be a great help if we are indeed to cleanse Ogremok's bane from the rock blight.
What?
Diplomacy is non-negotiable.
What?
I'm just imagining Liberty Crime from Fallout just getting summoned.
Into Mug's
Um,
I'm sorry, what is this? Is this something in the city?
Gurnik chimes in. Entomok is the brother of Ogremok. They are yin and yang, as it were. It is possible to summon an earth elemental of, if we could locate its summoning circle, it is possible we could summon a much more powerful earth elemental that could aid in our assault.
So locate, as in we don't know where it is right now, though.
I know where the witch is.
What?
I said, I know where it is. The witch is by.
Was there phasers with the in that area with the temple?
Yeah, there was
Do you
phasers,
do you
right?
know that
In
it
the area
exists?
of
In the rock blight.
yes,
Yeah.
Do you know that it exists in the rock blight?
Entomoc's boon is not found in Blingdenstone. It is outside the city.
But like somewhere, like nearby, not just around in the Underdark.
We do not know its precise location, but we have we have not had the gnome power handy in order to venture out and rediscover its location.
I guess
In
I'm
recent
trying
months.
to figure out if
It's
if
just-
you're wanting to search the Underdark or just like the local area.
It's not super far outside Blingdenstone. It's
Okay.
not like, okay, cool, we're
So
gonna
it's
walk for a
reasonably
week to
close.
find it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we likely think it's in the vicinity of the rock blight.
No.
Not at all.
The starting point it would be from the headquarters of the Stoneheart Enclave.
Which we passed on the way in.
Ish.
Not directly. You went
Ish.
close-ish, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a good part of a day's travel away.
All right.
Not like
So
a
the
whole
city-
day.
the city
we
used
can't
to use
bring
it.
a stone element.
Until we take care of
It
the
used to
rocks.
be
Yeah,
a known
so-
location.
Okay.
Yes.
Bane, Boone, Bam.
Bane, Bane, Boone, Blex.
Yep.
Um,
Perhaps you could.
Baron of Belch.
Could you spare any scouts to look while we handle this temple to perhaps maybe narrow it down?
Just get a lead.
Yeah.
Figure out where it's not.
if this is the path that the council thinks we should take, then yes, we can dedicate.
Is there a strong recommendation?
We,
as
we
your
can
Underdark consultant?
dedicate personnel to
We'll take.
Strike team.
reinforcing our search.
Special forces.
Well, is there anyone who can offer another plan?
Anybody?
Because it really feels like we just laid it all out for them.
Under crickets.
Not the ways.
Well,
Well, except Nomi's the one that came up with at least
Bane.
a third of it.
Well, she
The boon.
gave us information that we didn't have, and then we put it to action.
Yeah, right. She came up with her extra requirement.
Just as one other thing, we saw
Yeah.
it somewhere. We don't know where
This
it
is a
is
nice.
now, but
This is a nice.
we
to
think
have.
it could fit in.
We've
Oh,
heard that
God.
there's this thing that could be really handy to us. Can you just go make that happen? Do you have any leads on where to begin with it?
No. You guys can just look for it, right?
To reproduce a screenshot, anything?
We know it's the opposite of this.
Has anyone done this before? Well, we heard once.
There's like legend that someone used to do this.
We paid for it to be installed.
I went to this site and saw it.
Eldith chimes in at this point and is just like, well, we were also forgetting the protective oil or whatever is put on the weapons to make them more impervious to the acid of the oozes to keep them from wearing out. Is this something that you possess more of? Kazuk chimes in and is like, I have a fair bit more, but we don't, not enough for, well, an army of Blingdenstone. That would require a fair bit more of the primary ingredient, which I do not have currently.
What's the primary
Well, don't be a
ingredient?
tease. What's this?
Don't be a tease.
Let's just cut to the chase. Where's the primary ingredient?
Can we really cut to the chase here?
What do we have to kill?
Who is the primary ingredient?
We are doing stuff for the next little bit to prepare for this assault. So if you can spare anyone to go and just like harvest some
Let's
of this
find out where
primary
it is first.
ingredient.
Let's find out where it is.
No, can we?
I wanna know.
I don't want to do it.
I want to know where it is.
This sounds boring.
Where is
Side
it?
quest.
Farmville. Where is it?
Farmville. Where is it? Well, the material is a mushroom known as Timmask, which is spelled like Tim Mask, all one word. It's a toadstool that stands about 2 foot tall at full grown, with orange and red stripes across its cap.
Did still have orange and red stripes across his cap?
No,
Okay.
he was a weird shade of like olive green.
Okay.
I feel
Problem
like we've
is-
seen this mushroom before. Like it sounds super familiar.
It's possible that you have. We know where one source of it is. However, we usually only only collect a small amount,
There's a bunch
which
of
allows
oozes
us
already
to go in and out very quickly and not disturb the creature that we know to live nearby. Oh
Wait.
man, surprise!
Wait, where is it that you harvested from?
What is the
What
creature?
if the circle's there?
Oh, wait. Is it close?
It's not far, no more than half a day's travel from here.
What kind of creature are we talking?
It is.
This is in game. I'm sorry.
It is a serpentine-esque creature known as a behir.
Oh,
But I thought it was there.
Haha!
bad.
Sorry.
I know where we could have gotten
Take your
it.
stupid part of inspiration back. Medium ass
Counting it.
pun.
It's been 10 minutes.
There's probably
Using
no
it.
one in the Myconid city anymore. We could just go there.
Except Zig to me.
That sounds like a terrible idea. So
I think
Yeah.
we're gonna stumble ahead.
I think
1 for 2 isn't bad for him though.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. And I also think that this last bit is a
Nice to have.
nice to have for sure.
We'll put it in the backlog.
It's definitely
See if we can bring that to the top later on.
it's definitely not going to be in this sprint.
No.
But maybe we'll bring it in.
No, we've got plenty of ground.
If we beat the estimated level of effort to do the rest of these things.
then we'll get in.
Does anyone have just like magical armor?
Just lying around.
It doesn't have to be like good magic armor. It just has to, like it could literally be armor of magic having.
This innately magical armor does nothing.
But it's
They call it the null armor,
This armor is considered magical.
and that's it.
They say a wizard
Go
farted
on.
on it
No,
once
it's-
and it fermented for 3 years.
Oh,
Vera,
God.
I had no idea.
This is my +0 armor of being enchanted. Oh
I
man.
almost basically had that.
You know, no, and in certain games, like that would be a very, very valid magic item to have. Like this campaign's not quite that low magic, but
Right. It's
like in something like what Zach's thinking of, it
Yep.
just being magical, that would be count for a non-zero amount.
right.
Well,
That's a no then?
Dendru chimes in. It's like, well, I mean, I have some wares that I could lend to the cause. Well, one of which I already have, but we could.
He's still alive.
What?
Well, he's still alive.
Yeah. But we can. I'll see what else I can scrounge up, but.
Well, it sounds like you won't have enough slime for at least a strike team.
That is
Cat
true.
my staff.
A lightning strike team. Haha.
Cast
Cool.
thunder. I use my action to make Dawnbreaker
And
up to 30 feet.
Jaeger finally chimes in, the spirit. It says, the mercenary previously in our employ, Crow, has done a splendid job of ridding Blingdenstone of its more malevolent spirits. I will do what I can to see about rallying the remaining spirits of Blingdenstone who still reside here, to see if they will do what they can to assist in our battle to come.
You know, it sounds like would be a great scouting tool. Something that can go through walls.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Smart.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a ghost of a chance to do that.
Exactly.
Okay. Senage says, so we have our plan then?
I believe so. We do need some. Is Eldith been restored at this point?
She needs a shield, right? That's what you.
We will see your arms replaced from your excursion yesterday, no problem.
I mean, I still have both mine, but that's.
It is also worth noting that this phaser has been draining us for some time now, and continued exposure to it might hinder us further. Some cleansing services may be in order and appreciated.
I'm sure that Father Garnick would be more than willing to assist if you have some lingering effects to be rid of. So then, what is our final plan of attack?
So I believe we will rid the city of a curse that's plagued it for about a century. With that gone, we can either summon Entomox Boon if you're able to locate it, or if we're able to get closer. With the elemental force and the Gold Whisker clan, as well as some of your finest warriors, providing a diversion, we can locate the Pudding King, Sultan of Slime, and perhaps end this new threat to your city.
Very well. But the main assault, where do we intend to lead that from?
Well, if we're clearing out the temple, we can
We could make it from there,
If that's
Go from the
best
temple.
place.
if that was
like someone recommended.
Dorbo.
Well, there is a. Dorbo's just like, yeah, the tunnel from that temple though is caved in.
Of course it is.
Kuzuk chimes in again. She's like, say no more. I can whip something up for that in short order.
Sounds like we have an accord.
Do you have anything else that could help us in completing this first task?
Which task are you doing first?
Ogre Mock.
Go for Ogre Spade first.
restorative potions, anything like that.
Items of not dying.
I just happen to have this stick of not dying.
Stick of Truth.
I just keep it in my back pocket and just.
Oh
Can't
man,
anytime
I have
you
to put
die.
the stick of truth in a game
Don't.
at some point.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Say no, you.
No,
You're
Make
immune
it-
to the
stick
death
up a
condition.
single counter spell. No, you.
Unfortunately, in D&D, that only goes so far.
Right.
Well, we will be rallying our supplies, and we will see what the logistics are. At this precise moment, I'm afraid there's not a great deal we can spare, given that we know of the battle to come. But I will see that each in your group is given at least one potion of healing for the task.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Did we decide whether or not Jaeger or Jaeger's spirits you have brought to your aid, if they will be able to do anything like try to find the location of the
Sultan of Slime.
slime Sultan
Sultan
King?
of Slime.
King Sultan?
Sultan of Slime.
Slime Salt.
Yes, he means the
Time.
Sultan of Slime.
King of Puddles. Prince of Puddles.
I will convene with them and see. The way we spirits are bound is only to a certain area. Like I know I myself am unable to venture that far northwest into the city, but I will see if there are any who can reach that area.
Well, if you can scout out perhaps the battle zone around the dome, at least we could cross that at the list of places to look.
Also, any scouting or research that can be done to help us in locating Entomoc's boon would make this whole endeavor go more quickly, rather than having the four of us wander around the Underdark for
I do believe
Never.
haste is absolutely
only lasts for a minute.
exactly, and it's important that we
That we use it wisely.
as much as we can.
Yes. Haste.
We were saying haste, and then we made the word play because it's a
Okay.
spell.
I wasn't sure if this was a real thing or a joke, so I was really confused.
Yes.
Very well then. I
Think
think
all good jokes.
I think we're in accord, and I think we have our plan. Well done.
The coalition against the patrician of pudding.
That was really funny.
Yes.
So.
Double inspiration.
Oh man, you don't. Have
I get to
that.
roll one
Um,
20d8.
But very well. You all have your orders. Begin making preparations this day, and we will hope to strike at the oozes within the week.
We'll be clearing the temple this afternoon.
Yeah.
Very well. We wish you good fortune in the venture.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Okay.
We gonna go play some Minecraft?
Did they
Did
have the healing potions?
Yeah. So before you guys head out, after the council meeting is adjourned and all the conversations are done,
Okay.
you would all be given a potion of healing. So everybody go ahead and add those to your inventories.
I was down to 1, I think, so now I'm at 2.
The killings? Sure. Anyone else?
What?
This stream is not advertised. Is not.
Can I get another
sponsored
water?
by- Sure. The Killians?
Yeah, hit me up. I'm gonna need one for this fight.
This is easy. This is so easy. I can move rocks now. Like a rock comes up to me, stone shape the rock.
As a cleric who uses Stone Shaper all the time in Rise of the North, it is a great spell.
It's a fun spell. I don't
It's
know
a
what
cool
it
spell.
does.
It's super versatile. You should be creative to use it. Which, if anyone here is,
Ooh, we're gonna
That's
have
certainly
a good time.
true.
Certainly
okay.
creative in conversation. Now to find out if you're creative with
Look.
your spells.
I was thinking about this the other day.
Oh. Did
We
you hurt
named
yourself?
buildings after people in Grakelstug who did things that generally helped the population. So if we help them, they'll name things after me, which is the goal.
There you go.
They also, you're also given, well, Eldith and Jimjar basically have their, thank you, shield and weapon respectively replaced by some nice weapons from the Gnomish armory. They also, so this time around, since you're going after the temple, they do not supply any of the like protective oil for the weapons or anything.
Cheap bastards.
There's a limited supply, man.
Limited supply, man.
Right. And then before you go as well, Gurnik waits for you before you head out because you were talking about being cleansed.
Of our mental problems. Please get rid of my depression,
the-
anxiety.
The stuff and the things and all of it. Oh man. Yeah, there's a lot of you who have levels of madness right now.
Yeah.
Oh wait, they can fix that.
Me and Brent have two, I think. Right?
Dope.
That's
Well, it,
Yeah, after it stopped being
It's
cursed
not
and
cheap.
started being well.
but it can be done.
Yeah, well, there's the other.
Okay, sorry.
I only have one level right now.
I think you too. Who else is two? Is that someone
I
else?
think it's me.
Let me double check.
But my greater, I just got greater restoration, so I probably have 0.
For what?
I'm a two.
You didn't just get so that's like targeted. It's not everything
Yeah.
that can be applied to
Yeah,
it.
it's not.
It's
that.
it's one.
Never
It's like an
mind.
intended ailment. Like if someone just blindly cast greater restoration on you, that wouldn't necessarily like remove a curse that they didn't know you had.
Okay.
They have to be targeting something.
Right.
Okay. That's different.
Or trying to. If they're like blindly guessed like.
Sure.
For some reason, I think you might be cursed. I'm going to try and use this to remove a curse from you.
Yeah.
It would work, maybe.
And then if they didn't, if they didn't technically know that you were cursed, but they cast remove curse on you, then I'd let that like work in the dark. But,
Sure. No, that makes sense.
But I would need a compelling reason why you would think they would actually be cursed or something.
I also have 2 levels of madness.
Um,
Because I was in love with you when you got your 2nd level.
Right.
No. Yeah. When you got yours,
We were both saying that all that
Yeah.
way.
I think I have one.
and
I
that's
think.
when Eldith got her 3rd level.
I only have one
so-
marked down.
That's right.
I think. I
Oh
have
wait.
one.
I have all you guys' shit. Bryn, Nero, and Eldith all have 1. Vera and Yormik both have 2.
Okay.
Jimbo 0?
Let's go.
Yep.
Jim Joe's at 0,
What does he have any
and everybody else is dead.
Rip.
So, Greater Restoration,
Can't be mad if you do.
Gurnik will perform for you. However, he can only perform it once per day, and you guys need to supply the 100 gold pieces worth of diamond dust that each casting requires.
And we have 200 left, right?
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So you
Because
can
we had 300.
get one person greater restored today and another one tomorrow.
I guess we start with one of the people at 2.
Do we?
I mean,
So hear me out.
A 3rd level's
Who
pretty good.
who's been hit by 3rd level other than me?
Jimbo, Eldith. I mean, yeah.
Eldith.
I haven't.
What happened to you? Was that your drunkenness?
That was my
Yeah.
drunkenness.
We're
That was
fine.
when Eldith was paranoid of all of us.
I'll be.
But it strikes me that if that happens mid fight, that the 3rd level of madness is very bad long term, but short term, the 3rd level is less bad.
You say that like you could, like, are you saying something here?
I don't. I'm trying to figure out like do we know levels of like how I'm trying to think of how our characters perceive the levels of madness.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think that you would know that like when you're hit by a bout of it, that subsequent bouts last longer.
Progressively
I
worse.
But they're
they're
not.
not necessarily so okay. So you guys as players know that 5e is not going to be mean to you and make you want to kill yourself for the next 12 days or something like that. And be like, cool, yeah, you're suicidal for a while now.
Sure.
But at the same time, I don't know that you would... I feel like we're skirting a weird metagamey line.
Right.
Big
That
time.
in practicality, I feel like you wouldn't necessarily think that, oh, well, because I get more madness, it'll be less bad.
Yeah,
So I guess
it's
in my mind, in my mind though, like from what we've seen is when someone gets hit by madness that hasn't been hit by madness before, they are incapacitated. They cannot do they're not doing anything on their own.
I see where you're getting at a little bit in
Like-
that, like the first time
First time I had
is
it, I thought
the
everybody was
short term worst.
We are not in our right minds. We are gone. Whereas like after we've been hit, it lasts longer, but like we're functional.
So you're saying that none of us should get it done today? Since we're going
No, I'm saying those of us with level 1s should.
What's the difference?
Because like
But like
It's-
ultimately, what's going to be the difference?
yeah.
Because
I would say
like I like it totally makes sense what you're trying to say, but like because of the fact that all of us have levels already, it's like
we either need to have nobody do it or
it doesn't matter.
If the logic
who does
is
it.
that we shouldn't do it, nobody should.
We'll play it the least potentially metagamey way and just
do the people who had
do
the
the-
worst
do
bouts
the-
of it.
Well, do the people with the level 2s.
Yeah.
That are suffering from the worst traces of madness.
Yeah.
I think that's reasonable.
I also agree that's reasonable.
Yeah. I was
And it
just-
is weird.
No, I
It's
know
a
exactly
hard
what you
instance
mean.
to.
Right when you were like, how would you gauge that in character of like what's the
And that's-
the levels?
Yeah, like
It would be
I'm perfectly
visible.
fine not playing it the min maxy way, but I was also like I wasn't trying to min max it. I was saying like, you know, what we've seen in character is this is when it's the worst.
It's a valid argument,
It's
but
almost
it's
like-
also
it's almost
a
like
weird
you-
just
you
in
you're affected
character-
longer, but you're more fragile to it. Like you form a little bit of a callus against the madness, so you can tolerate it more, but it lasts longer.
But then the aspect of it becomes it's like, oh well, in that case we just shouldn't cure it because then we expose ourselves to a more
Right.
aggressive regaining of the first level. You know, if you go into the
well,
actual
nobody's
We
hit
haven't
level
seen
4
level
yet.
right.
There's a level 4.
We don't know.
Nope.
Cool.
We can find out.
Let's try not.
Kevin
to
will make level 4s.
I'm on board.
He just starts giving us like
Oh, I know what it is already. It's not super complex, but it's
I hope
really
it's
funny.
like we get N+1 permanent things. So now we're alcoholic and paranoid and something else.
Nope. All right.
Paranoid alcoholic who thinks
Let's kill some rocks.
Let's do some rock destruction.
Um,
All right. Who? So which one of these? I got you. Ready? Evens are Vera. All right. We're healing Jordan.
Let's go.
Healing Jorvik.
I mean, so we're
You're right. Poor decision. We'll
Yep.
heal Vera.
Look how you rolled for it, gave it to Yori. Like, no.
no.
Well, okay.
Bad move,
Even
guys.
Yormik. So Yormik, if it gets worse, I want Vera to get me out of there. So
I'm sure, I can't. I don't want to argue for myself here.
Nope.
It seems
But
selfish.
also I should.
But
be
at the
it.
same
yeah.
time,
Nope.
Also-
done. Easy.
in character,
Also,
Vera is
Yormik's kind of like, well,
but he also has something that can make him jump like 500 feet away.
so
if he runs
similar
away from everybody,
to
we'll
how it
never
works.
catch him.
Similar to how it worked for Yormik, you guys give Gurnik the appropriate quantity of diamond dust, and he casts the spell on you. And you... It doesn't, like, you aren't feeling bad, but at the same time, it's just this, like almost, like, wild anxiety sort of dissipates
my
somewhat.
thoughts are. I feel like my head would be calmer and quieter. And
Yeah. And, like...
maybe less noise.
It's not, you're not necessarily gonna like sleep perfectly again, but at least in your waking time it's a little less distracting and angsty.
Alright, now that you've evolved from puberty.
I've got a pickaxe.
Are we ready?
Let's go.
I've never been more prepared to
I-
go walking rocks.
Okay.
I mean, it's not wrong. Okay, it's a new day.
But it all feels old.
Wait.
It's a new day.
Did we sleep and then?
It's long rest. You guys long rested?
I thought we were gonna go.
You're
fight
doing
the
a bit?
temple today.
No, I'm saying you have a sword.
Yeah.
It's a new day.
Oh,
Let's pick this
I
out.
figure I'll let you take the guess
I had a
before you
word.
go
Let me
into the
think.
rock plate.
Sword.
I'm glad that you're excited for this too.
I am. I feel like eventually you guys are just gonna guess it right. I don't know.
Devour.
Devour?
Yeah.
No.
I feel like that
It's gonna
would
be
guess
like
though.
Devourer or something. Like,
No, I feel like you would give it to us.
It's like, you just say devour.
I would not. In that case, I would not.
I was gonna like for a command word. If I'm DMing it, I'd be like,
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty good one.
I might give him a hint. It's like, the sword like brightens with. Wait, you know her? Never mind.
Devour.
Yeah.
feel the sword exude
If
poison.
it's wrong
and
in
I've
then-
got, I've got a bunch of
It's
ones
wrong for the
like
command.
lined up for options.
I'm curious. What do you have lined up?
I gotta tell you.
Oh, come
You gotta find out.
on. All right, that's fair.
Let's
That's
have a
fair.
little
That's
bit of
fine.
back and forth
Keep
in this
your
relationship.
Listen, it's,
Go
it's
ahead.
all spider. It's all spider oriented. So
What if it's like about a
Mandible.
giraffe instead?
then you know that's fair.
Turns
but
out
I'm
giraffes
not
actually
gonna...
originate in the Underdark. Who knew?
Does it have a poison effect on it?
Yes,
I would guess certain things aren't poison.
spiders.
But it's
yeah,
both.
Like inject or venom or something.
but it also has
Bite, sting.
it has necrotic damage too, right? So it's
Yeah.
like,
Consume.
hey, that's my next word.
Is it really?
That's literally my next
Let's
word.
go.
This is great. I love this game of Hangman. Okay, cool.
Except for
So
we don't get any
uh,
extra letters.
This is a
Madness
D&D
cured,
brute force
resupplied.
Password hacking.
You all pack up and head towards the rock blight, and you reach the gate. The familiar scowl of Sark Axe Barrel manning the gate.
We did this on our own.
What?
I'm just remembering when Nero and I went into this by ourselves.
Right.
You head over towards the rock blight. Yes. Sark sees you all approaching his gate. Says, back at it again, huh?
I just hold the pickaxe in front of me. Like, I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, I light up Dawnbringer. I'm like, how much do I bet this time?
You still owe me 100 gold. I knew where the witch was.
What's going on?
Listen, we've got some.
There's
we've
a
got
history
some
here.
History.
Appreciate if you back this up a little bit.
Listen, just you gotta have a.
Oh,
backup.
remind me, I literally don't remember what the bet was at this point.
This guy
It's been
Davis,
weeks.
He said, "I'll give you 100 gold if you can find
the witch,
the location of the witch."
which I gave him incorrectly, but I still
My
gave
bad.
it to him.
50 gold if we give him the location. I bet him 50 and gave him a down payment of 50.
You
If-
get 50 gold back.
Yeah, I got my gold back.
Yeah.
But it was like, and he said, I bet him 50 gold that we would make it back alive. He didn't think we would make it back alive after the two of us went in.
Show him.
So he owes us a net 100 gold.
100.
Yeah.
You haven't.
Well, we made it back alive the first time. we
Right,
went in,
yeah, that makes sense.
And he didn't give us that 50. And
We know
we
where the
never
witch is.
really got a confirmation of whether the persuasion check, I don't remember from the VOD.
Pretty sure it was
maybe
like
we
a
could get
27.
whether or not he
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure.
Whether you convinced them or
Pretty
not.
sure. Pretty sure he's just a cheapskate.
Well, I kind of forgot about your bet money, so he would have given you that. So go ahead and take your 50 and put it in your
Okay.
inventory. I probably just got confused the way you like left a 50 gold deposit and then
Right.
also like bet him 50, and I figured that just returning that would mean that you were covered. But I see what you mean.
Yes.
All right, so we will be betting again.
I mean, if you're not too afraid to put your own money on the line.
What are your terms?
We find the witch. You give us 10 gold. We kill her, you give us 50 gold. If we free your city, we'll just see what happens then.
I mean, there's already a bounty on on her head for 1,000 gold.
All right, that's a separate matter though. This is just between us.
What's your name?
Sark.
Sark. What do you do other than stand guard of this door?
I mean, this is my job. But why do you think I am gambling with the entrance into the rock blight?
Do you just
don't have a lot else to do on shift here.
Do you know what Timask looks like?
Timask. Sorry. It's a mushroom. I think it's poisonous. Yeah, why?
We kill the witch. You get us 3 pounds of Timask.
I wouldn't know offhand where to find it.
That's what makes the bet fun.
I can't promise that I have duties here in the city.
What do you do in your free time? Stand in front of other doors?
Yes. I'm a bouncer in the evening.
Ourselves in the oil.
Well, I can't fault you for perfecting your craft, but
And you're doing a wonderful job.
All right.
Oh, I thank you.
so
I was being
back.
sarcastic.
on the books, 10
Me
gold
too.
if we come back, 10 more if we have the witch, and then he also gives us 1,000 gold for the bounty. So 1,020 gold.
Checks out. All right. So
Sick.
We're going in.
What'd you say?
That's a sarcastic. That's so sarcastic.
goodbye.
Very well.
She's verbal agreement.
Good luck. Good luck in your endeavor. He gestures to his squad, and they open the first gate door. And the 6 of you move in. Exactly like that.
Yeah. So as the doors are closing as well. By the way, our squad is way more badass than yours.
Just like sneaks in a little.
The underlight, don't forget it. And I
You
really,
I'll make
Can't hear you.
the rock around us just shake.
and I'll really turn up what's it called, Dawnbringer's brightness, because
Just
that's,
make your own thaumaturgy.
because that's the thing. You can make it brighter.
Always
Up
to
to-
no maximum.
up to
Are you
30
wearing the
feet.
shadow cowl
Oh,
right
yeah.
now? Okay, I was like,
Up to 30 feet. So it starts off
What do
with
you
like.
what do you even set to? 9? Put it down to like a 3. You
It
got the
seems-
dial. Turn it right there.
It seems fine.
You've really gotten a lot more okay with this kind of thing.
I mean, now that I'm not literally blind, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone knows where we are right now, but
Oh, by the way, there's ghosts that age you like 30 years.
but
so-
it's really easy to get rid of.
I thought
so
we were
don't worry
fighting
about it.
rocks.
Yeah, but like getting to them, you have to pass this like ghost town. It's kind of messed up.
It's where the witch is.
Yeah, so
We saw her there.
Do we want to just kill the witch first?
I mean, we will.
I don't know I don't know where she is.
That was,
We'll get that on
We
the way
will-
out.
Did
Yeah.
you just say you know where she is?
totally.
What
I
kind,
definitely said that I know where she is.
what kind of ghost distance?
I don't know. I don't know.
The kind that did it.
I tried to
It's-
I tried to recall what kind of ghost would do that, but it turns out that ghosts are not my specialty.
It was it was a spooky one. So if you see one that scares you,
Great. That narrows it down.
you could say it had a horrifying visage.
Yeah, have you ever seen the Mummy? Like when his mouth just
quite
drops.
spectral and
It's kind of like that.
Yeah. Oh my god, just starts playing down with the sickness. Headbanging ghost.
I'd be okay with that.
That'd be kind of sweet.
All right, where are some rocks?
Take out this hammer.
Just gonna-
some headbanging.
Drag the pickaxe behind me and make a little line in the rock.
Sure.
Just for
Are you
fun.
trying to give away your presence?
Sure.
I mean, I have a sword that's literally.
You are
Light.
literally
There's a
incredibly bright
Beacon
beacon.
of enemy.
I mean, as long
But
as he
currently,
keeps-
you're just in a hallway between two gates, so you haven't actually like formally entered the rock blade yet.
I'm ready.
Did Jesus. Fireworks ready?
Earth tremor.
So did you have to look at this ghost to become aged, or did
Yes.
I mean, it looked at me and then I became aged.
Well, we turned around. It looked at us. It screamed,
Tried to sell me some.
and
herbal
then
supplements.
Yormik was not.
Trying to
Doesn't-
sell me some supplements.
Yormik doesn't have.
Okay.
Yormik doesn't have the mental fortitude, so he got sucked into a pyramid scheme that made him age 30 years because he was trying to pay back the debt.
The
that he
stress
had
was
from it.
unbelievable.
I have to sell 30 cases of this, or I'm going to owe you 30,000
pyramid
gold.
scheme because it was like the mummy.
Right.
Oh, God.
it all comes back? It all comes back around. All right.
It does.
It's gotta.
Full
Back around.
pyramid.
Full pyramid.
Okay. So, you guys head forward?
Yep.
Okay.
I can douse this if we want, but I don't feel like stealth is
Possible.
possible.
We didn't have any time. But we went to the council meeting, to the church, and then basically right to here.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you had some time because they like rearmed you
We
and
could've
brought you the
taken a
potions
little.
and.
Did you need to do something?
Maybe amulet.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
I think I had
well,
time.
we could have done this later.
Yeah.
We did have the downtime of like acquiring the potions.
Well, do it for now. Let's just go.
Okay.
Kill the rocks. Kill the rocks.
Okay. So, you open the secondary gate and well, close the door behind yourselves and find yourself in a tunnel that immediately basically forks right in front of you, left and right.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Nero and Yormik will recall from their previous excursion into the rock blade that the tunnel to the left ends at a cave-in, and to the right leads to the larger cavern with the waterfall and the spoopy ghost.
Yeah.
This thing's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it was a problem.
Right, but it's gonna
Probably
be
would have just been his Verfneblem when it was
second dead.
Okay, so you head. Sorry, I almost said south, but I got to remember all these maps are like 90 degrees off. You head eastward, and again find the small pool, and then find yourselves in the larger cavern filled with many abandoned residences.
Where did you guys see this ghost last time?
Here.
Right, literally right. I was standing. Just
So,
Take my hand.
so just so you know, there's like a staircase. If we follow this, it was like the right-hand wall, right? That's where the staircase up towards the temple was.
The left-hand wall.
Which
So you guys were heading north, and then you took like this like V fork that went mostly east.
no.
And after you got into the larger cavern, to the like on the north side of that larger cavern that you're in,
Yep.
is stairs that head further north.
was there a pool that we walked around here?
You did. You've
Okay.
walked around the pool again,
Okay.
and the stairs are after that pool.
Yep. Well,
Not getting any younger.
let's go. I guess heads down. I don't know how
Or
you
up.
deal with these things.
What happens if you look at stuff?
You age 30 years.
You all notice again. Well, the two of you notice again, but the faint sounds of battle that seem to very quietly echo throughout this chamber.
I imagine that we're all trying to stay close to Nero for the support that we feel, the confidence that we feel.
Yeah,
with
don't worry, I
Nero.
got you. I'll make you feel good.
You also hear the faint sound of a waterfall further east.
And the Beedrus is here too?
Yes, let me double check
I believe so.
whether or not it's like sort of like ubiquitous over here, or if it's only specific spots.
This is such happy music for being in
Ghost cave.
That's how you know there's not ghosts around.
Yeah.
But
We're safe this time. The battle music hasn't come
I
up.
definitely have like a spooky playlist for my D&D.
This seems better.
Scary. Now there's
Yeah,
ghosts,
it's
guys.
just the Haunted Mansion soundtrack from Mario.
Especially when,
It's the creepy
especially
music.
when Luigi's like,
I play that for my players like with the Luigi sounds in there.
There's actually not Phaedrus in this section. I was wrong. I was thinking of the ooze quarter.
dope toaster.
But no, it is just completely dark aside from Dawnbringer.
Gotcha.
Do we see any footsteps on the ground like a drow witch would leave as they're walking through this area?
Oh, the specificity of that question.
You make a survival check with disadvantage.
Yep, there are rocks,
because
though.
you're not good
2
at
natural
Double net 20.
This is what you get.
Oh my god!
Millennium roll.
Wow!
Oh,
Wow!
Are there any drow witch footsteps? Natural 20.
I would like it to be
twice.
known that I've rolled
You-
4 times tonight, and I haven't rolled above a 10, and this happened.
It's
He's got 3 natural 20s.
Oh,
it's okay
nice.
if there aren't any. I just want to be sure.
So you are strangely confident that the only tracks that you can find appear to be like yours and Nero's and the rest of your crew. You don't
Just
see
go
any
full
other
rock
signs
hand
of
over
recent
here.
Sure.
movement over here.
Okay.
At least not corporeal movement.
The most
That was
most
stupid.
amazing roll that has ever been.
It's like,
That's all right.
you are sure you don't see specifically
That's fine.
like drow witch
That
footprints
was
over
worth
here.
it. 100% worth it. I would say.
That's
All
great.
right.
This is like 1 4
Well, we head up the stairs, right?
Glad fun.
Yeah.
If we get to them without any.
So, sorry, wait, are you going the stairs to the north, effectively north, or continuing
well,
towards the sounds
wa-
of the waterfall?
No, Gurnick said that going up the stairs was the better route to get to the temple.
He did say he said mostly due north from where he was, so
Yeah.
those stairs would be more that direction.
Yeah, when we went back to him after our first excursion, he said that was the route that he would take to get there.
Didn't tell us that before.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys head north up towards the long staircase tunnel ahead of you. And you make your way up. This staircase is the better part of like 80 feet long going up.
Draw the nervous sweat mark.
Mage armor.
And similar to the rest of Blingdenstone, all of the staircases in the town are designed for small folk. So if you are not small, they are technically difficult terrain for you. Small folk.
What do you mean? Each step is just 2.
Seems like
So
it's
you-
throwing to me.
Finally,
Deception is you.
actually, who's leading this?
As usual, being Nero.
Okay,
Followed literally 1 step behind. but-
Nero,
Yeah.
you crest the top
Like near
of the
flat
steps
tiring me.
and find in the chamber before you light both from Dawnbringer and from bioluminescent fungi refract through this cavern and the large crystal formations that erupt from the
Been so
floor,
long.
It's been a while.
creating a kaleidoscope of colors on the surrounding walls. The crystals are semi-transparent, slightly distorting images seen through them. A statue of a gnome cowers near a crystal overgrowth with a broken crystal in its hands.
How accurate does the statue look from afar?
So it's towards the center of this room. From where you're standing, it looks fairly realistic.
Played this one shot before.
I mean,
God
it
damn
looks
it.
like a very finely carved stone sculpture of a Zwerfneblin.
Sure.
I get the feeling that this guy tried to do what we're trying to do and did not succeed.
That's because he was alone worse at it than us.
Right, so
It's true.
luminescent
They're not
fungi
standing.
shining through floating colored crystals that make a kaleidoscope color.
They're not floating. There's like crystal clusters that are literally like coming out of the ground,
Okay.
naturally occurring, seemingly.
Okay. There's a statue of a gnome.
Yeah, there's a statue of a gnome who, from the pose, appears to be cowering near one of these crystal outgrowths
It's all statues are carved
with
to be.
a broken crystal grasped in its hand.
He's broken it off of like one of the main juts of crystal coming out of the wall.
Mm-hmm.
What color is the crystal he's holding?
The color of the crystal he is holding is a yellowish orange.
Alright, don't touch the yellow orange crystals.
I specifically do not break crystals off the walls.
By the way, we definitely have the soul gem from Gurnik. By the way, when we stopped to see Gurnik,
We got the soul.
we
The spell gem
Yeah,
that
the
contains
spell
the
gem.
hallow spells?
Yeah, the spell gem.
I assumed.
Yeah, I was like, this is about to be real fucking dumb.
We get there and we're like, sweet guys, let's do this. Who brought the ruby spell gem? Ha!
Alright, Nero, pop it in.
Hang on, one second.
I've seen that feature on
Yeah, wait, okay, guys, camp out. And Yorvik's like, I got this. And Detour's out. And then it's just like, you wait like
24 hours.
12 hours. Hey guys, I'm back. Let's do this.
Oh, you're dead. Oh.
Oh god, you're all dead.
You're all stone. I mean, how would that happen? That's impossible.
Okay.
I will cast See Invisibility at 2nd level.
Okay. You cast your spell, and nothing in the immediate vicinity appears that wasn't previously visible to you.
I use divine sense. Shall I read?
No, you shallant.
Order wall.
You shallant.
But then it reminds me of taking the 10 minutes to cast it.
I would be happy for you to do that.
Can I look for drow footprints?
Like,
You do not
Do we hear
get
anything?
any hits off the immediate vicinity.
great.
Do we hear
Divine
anything?
sense. Divine sense 0 for 100. So
No, you got one.
no, I didn't use it the one time it would have been useful.
Oh wait, no. And the other time
The
you used it,
alkali.
it was when they were all like in the tombs, and so it like doesn't
yeah,
see
and it
through
doesn't
solid
see
cover.
through things. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I guess that is like
The shittiest.
pretty close to the
thing
one
ever.
skill that hasn't ever hit for you.
Yep.
Because we've seen
We
invisibility.
found the chest in that
We've
room. where it didn't
we've
work.
lesser restored things.
What's that?
If only it worked, you'd be good.
Yeah.
Your character would be
Yeah.
That's the one thing
clearly knocked out.
That's
Yeah,
the one
that
thing
skill,
missing.
That skill invalidates my character completely. Weakest one in the party right now.
Let's just ditch
Bards,
this guy.
bards definitely don't have anything like you know, my counter charm has come in handy so many times. I use that all the time. As you all nod because you know what skill I'm talking about. I use it
I
so
know it's also a skill in Pathfinder, and I've also never used it.
Listen. This is
Look,
the thing.
it happens.
They're
It
so
happens.
scared. The enemies are so scared of your like skill set that they craft their skill set so they can avoid you entirely.
There we
That's
go.
like ultimate respect.
Guys, just hide behind stuff. He'll never know we're here.
So true. Who uses stealth?
Half elves can only see motion. Nobody move.
Here's what I want to keep an eye out.
A disembodied voice whispers at you from the
Detect
cavern.
magic to see if these crystals have any suspicious nonsense.
Sure.
Go
Do
for
it.
it.
I'm gonna stay right here.
It's like 10 minutes.
You'll make you scared.
Okay, so you guys are chilling for 10 minutes.
I want to go
Uh,
look at the statue.
On the stairs.
Anybody doing anything else in that 10 minutes?
I'm just keeping an ear out for any thing that might be coming.
Okay, make a perception check.
I look for generic tracks.
Yep.
Make a survival check.
Let me see if there's anything
Dude,
worthwhile
natural
for
20.
me to
What
know.
the I mean, like, it's technically the history of rocks. Like, who stepped on this rock
Right,
recently?
yeah.
But goddamn, dude.
That's ridiculous.
You again do not.
You can just keep.
You
those.
don't see any tracks in this area that aren't your own.
Okay. No one else is here.
Definitely not. Make a. Make.
Natural
Natural
20 tells
don't
me.
ask.
God. Make a. Make an investigation check. It's tissue.
An advantage because it's stealth crystal?
No, I'm not attuned to it.
More importantly, this
But-
guy has a box that he doesn't bring.
Investigation. 14.
14.
It's obviously going
Um,
terribly.
Guess he doesn't need his cat.
So
I'm 5 for rolls under 10.
you're not.
At least it's not coming.
You notice
Or saves.
the statue of the gnome in the room. That you're not sure if it was either finely carved or if this somehow used to be an actual Zwerf.
Guys, I
template.
have a thought about this statue.
Please
This
share.
But the way that it seems to hold the broken crystal in its grasp seems like it was attempting to sort of raise the crystal to look at it, or just sort of in front of its face.
Hey guys, do you just quick question? So I'm looking at this guy and I'm thinking that he was using the crystal to like look through. Do you know of any creature who you wouldn't want to look directly at?
Oh, maybe.
A spoopy ghost.
Shall I? Do I know of creatures that you don't want to look at directly?
Yormek does not know. So
Yormek. Creature you don't want to look at directly.
Make a history check.
This seems like the history dice. It's not terrible, but I'm pretty sure I'm a plus 0 to that, so 13.
13.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know of some creatures that have effects from either like you looking at them looking at you, or like sort of, or both at the same time. But all of the ones that you can think of, or that you know of, or that you've ever encountered, are undead of some sort.
did you finish your detect magic yet?
Oh, I guess technically the other one that you would also know of at this point would be the stink eye from the
Oh, yeah.
what are the Fomorians.
Yeah. Gamorrean guards.
Does magic vanish?
Yeah. So what was your perception check again? I'm sorry. 8. Throughout the next 10 minutes, you still hear that strange, distant sound of like battle noises, and the rest of you hear this as well. But yeah, it's so very distant sounding. You can tell that the sound of the waterfall is further away. Obviously, you guys did not head in that direction, but you don't hear or see anything else in that time. Your detect magic spell completes, and the aura around your vision alights. You don't see anything in here, specifically the statue or even the crystals in this cavern. None of them show a magical aura.
So there's some within range of me then?
No, there's not. Or wait, sorry. What do you?
Crystals.
The crystals in the statue are within range of magic or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, sorry. I'd been assuming you guys had like entered into this.
Oh, I
This
think we were
room.
on top of the steps, but
We would have had to. We couldn't just stand.
100% in this thing.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're like examining.
I was
the
looking
statue.
for footsteps. Looking at the
And there-
statue by accident.
There are several different staircases, or tunnels and/or staircases leading from this particular crystal chamber too. There's a couple more due west, and then some other staircases and tunnels on the eastern, and then one on the more northern facing sides.
We went to head to the northernmost one.
Are the crystals magic?
Doesn't look like it. Neither is the statue.
I'm gonna take my pickaxe. I'm gonna walk up to one of the crystals. I'm gonna break a chunk off.
Okay.
What color?
Blue. If there's blue, I would like a blue one.
Okay. Yeah, so there's a rainbow, a myriad of colors. You have no problem
So cool.
finding a blue one. So yeah, go ahead and make your attack roll with your crazy new
17.
17. I mean, yeah, it definitely hits. What's the? It has like a damage bonus for hitting.
Stone.
Right. Yeah. So
11. Yeah, 11.
what's
points of
the
damage.
bonus? What does the
Another
item
D8.
say?
It's an additional.
Oh, it's just an additional die when you're doing it. Okay. 11? Yeah, I mean, this pick is really heavy. I mean, and conveniently magical. You have no problem just, like, smashing off a chunk of this crystal.
Why don't we just let's just farm this?
I mean, it didn't. Clearly, this didn't work for him, but we might need these bits, and I'm gonna pick up one that's about visor shaped.
About visor shaped.
Oh my gosh.
I'm thinking more like you have like a hunk that's sort of, I guess, like this kind of wide, so it's like a good handful
Sure.
of crystal.
Like a monocle.
I mean, it's bigger than that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
sure. It's at least the size of a monocle.
You also literally have a magical like
Oh wait,
field in front of
I'll-
your face.
Yeah, but I can see.
I'll walk over as I see Yormik kind of like trying to hold this hunk of rock up to his eye. We'll see we'll see if this goes poorly. I'll cast Mold Earth on it, and
On the crystal?
yeah, try to shape it into a visor.
How does Mold Earth read?
If it doesn't, I have a similar idea.
Could you like maybe shape it into a new shape?
I could do that. I could do exactly that.
Is metal rocks? Is gemstone rocks?
I'll make
Yeah,
I'll make
gems
a
are
pair
rocks.
of glasses out of stone and then shove it in like a lens.
But listen, gemstone. Similar word.
So you can like
It's just minerals.
make
Right?
colors and shapes and stuff appear on it. You can't like reshape this specific crystal though.
I would like to make the shapes that aren't the visor not appear on it.
Rules? Lawyer?
Bryn, I like where your head's at.
Yeah, on his shoulders.
I'm gonna pick
I
up,
also like it there.
if I've still got time, I would like to pick up a rock on the ground and use my pickaxe to cast Mold Earth on the rock and turn it into a holder for the crystal that I can wear on my head.
You're gonna just put a rock.
Oh my god.
You're gonna put a rock on your head.
I'm gonna shape it into like glasses.
It's rock.
It's just like this is fucking amazing. This is just the greatest use of stone shape I've ever heard of.
You're gonna make a monocle?
to your.
So wait,
Basically,
okay,
yeah, like-
okay. So here, so could I? So I can shape the rock. So can I from the rock shape a small lens?
Wait, you can shape the rock?
I can make shapes appear.
Right. So I took that as like markings on the stones.
Oh, so not physically.
reshape
I
its
see.
physical. Yeah, so
Gotcha.
the cantrips like that, like prestidigitation can make stuff appear different and change
Yeah.
color and stuff like that. But outside of literally like cleaning up like filth, if you're like, oh cool, you're covered in mud, I clean up mud off of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the few like permanent effects that the non-combat cantrips do.
I figured this one. I figured I could like minorly shape the rocks because it's like specifically rocks and for like it's more narrow, and so like minor things like that. It was kind of where my logic went.
Okay, so you could
Round off.
right. I was gonna say so not even round off, but like actually like help to flatten like one side, so that it's more of a of like this like a two flat sides that you could actually view through. I wouldn't say you can like reshape the whole chunk of crystal.
Sure.
But yeah. And then Yormek finds a rock.
You're also already looking through something.
I don't think it's
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think.
So you're wearing this shadow hood and then putting
Look, I
glasses
saw
on
the
over
dude.
it?
His last thought as he was dying is, I should really look through this crystal.
Yeah, and it worked for him, right?
Well, he didn't get all the way up there.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
Alright, so you want to do this 4 more times for the rest of us?
I think I can only do it 2 more times.
Yeah, so
No,
you
the
you
crystal-
shape these really interesting, like I'm almost imagining like Oakley frames, but just with this weird slot that just happens to perfectly fit your hunk of blue crystal
There we go.
lens, and you smartly make sure that the other eye is just covered with stone, so you just are looking out one lens.
There we go.
While you are doing this, your spell attacks will have disadvantage from an accuracy standpoint.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that seems fair.
Do you want to use your pickaxe to break off a few more gems?
Sure. I will break off 5 more pieces of gems.
Okay.
Yeah, you won't have any problem hacking off a few more chunks
Got rid
of
a
stone.
5 and a 3.
What is that here?
I hope it's off.
I would like a long straight red one.
And yeah, if you use your second stone shape, I'll say that you can actually
I have the prototype down.
right.
Yeah.
You can make monocle eye patch stone glasses for everyone who wants them.
There we go.
Thank you.
How's this last?
Stone shape?
No, stone shape's like permanent.
Yeah. Hot minute. I've got it right here.
So a monocle I could have.
Yeah, it's just forever. There's no time limit.
I'm not sorry, I wasn't talking about my spells.
Oh, gotcha.
Is this gonna change my ability to fight at all?
You'll attack with disadvantage because one of your eyes is blocked and the other one's looking through an
Shitty.
imperfect colored gemstone.
I made you the sweater out of my tears.
I don't know that I'm going to look through this, Yomi.
Just wear it like around, like on top of your head.
You know
for
what,
now.
fine. I'll wear it for now, but I won't wear it for long because this is ridiculous.
Hey, when you're stone, that's what I'm saying.
At least I won't have to hear this shit anymore.
Oh, would I have glasses in my disguise kit?
Like regular old glasses.
Yeah. Like cosmetic, not prescription, but
It seems like a plausible thing that you could have.
okay. I might give those a shot. Or maybe I'll give them to Nero to try. I don't know if these will do what the crystal was doing, but they probably won't mess you up as much as the hunk of rock on your head.
I'm like holding it to. I'm like, so these are more practical. But I have literally no idea what we're dealing with, so I don't know if either of these things are useful.
Just hold them both till we see something bad, and then.
You're right, because seeing something bad while not wearing either one of them.
Well, you
in
look
the event that
I'll
one
tell
of them
you
works.
if something bad comes up. You just look at my feet.
Hey, Dawnbringer.
Yes, Nero Amaris.
You can see a lot better than I can, so
By dawn.
how about you be my eyes for a bit? She has twice as good vision as me.
Amazing.
Is it true?
Down
sight?
B.
Blind sight?
Yeah, she has dark vision up to 120 feet.
It's pretty good.
Yep.
Pretty good.
And she's smarter than everybody except Vera.
Turns out 12 intelligence is super high.
I feel a little bad. I'm sort of smarter than I was.
Yeah, at least you're not dumber than this.
Like the
If-
rest of us.
Sword that got trained for 1,000 years.
Well, okay, it is really old. I mean,
If you wish to utilize my vision in that way, I am afraid that I would require control of your vessel.
Say what?
You trust this? You trust every voice so far.
No, I can't do that. How about
and Nero
this?
attacks the party again.
I understand if it is not something you wish to attempt. It is a rude intrusion upon one's privacy and autonomy. I would not force it upon you,
Would it be possible?
lest we became desperate.
Would it be possible at all for you to, if I am looking down, to at least be able to identify anything further ahead? Or is this also only possible if I
I could attempt to scout in that manner, yes.
just in case? Doesn't need to be anything more than a cursory glance.
Oh, that'd be really funny.
All right. Sounds
Magic's weird.
good. Yeah.
What
So-
happened? My sword got petrified, man. my sword's a rock sword now.
So I'll give you back your disguise glasses, and I'll hold this rock, but not put it on yet because it's ridiculous.
I'll put it on and come about how stupid it looks.
And I'll look down and let Dawnbringer. I'll try to like somewhat avert my gaze from being straightforward, so that I don't incidentally see something right in front of
Okay.
me.
Yeah, so kind of the like, I'll look at the ground like 8 feet in front of me.
Yeah,
sort
like
of
you're
thing.
driving past like somebody with their brights on, so you
Yeah.
like look
It's good analogy.
Okay,
Very good.
that kind of
fair enough. Yeah, so which way?
the northmost,
The northmost.
because he said it was almost due north of his place.
That is what he said.
Northwest.
He was a liar.
But you know what?
I have one of those.
It doesn't matter.
You did one of those.
Yeah.
It would help him just as well.
Liar, liar.
Uh,
If he's a bard.
okay. So, you all head across the Crystal Garden Cavern to the staircase on the northernmost, the northernmost staircase in this chamber. The staircase descends. And who's first in this instance?
Still Nero?
Probably Nero.
If I was like magic up, I wouldn't mind moving a second.
Also, side note, a thing that we've been forgetting about for about 50 sessions now, but your scar is supposed to give you disadvantage on sight-based perception checks.
Oh, does it really?
Oh,
Yep.
It's not like there's ever been any of
I don't
those.
remember that. I mean, that's fine. I just didn't remember that ever being a thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure if maybe I just forgot about it forever ago, but I definitely was like looking back in some of my older notes, trying to like plan for future stuff, and I
So-
saw that today.
So I remember during character creation, I was like, maybe it'll give me disadvantage on something. And then we never really said anything about it. So maybe you were planning it and we just never said it.
That's probably
That's
I mean, that sounds
probably-
like an
I mean,
entirely
that's totally
feasible
fine
thing to
because I
happen.
literally designed the character and said, this could be something that happens.
Do it.
So we'll go with that.
Yeah, we'll just, I mean, right, and it's not gonna. You've
I mean, that's not
fought for years and years, so it's not like it's gonna affect your ability to attack. Although, it would.
It would be the eye closed.
Well, right. I leave mascara open. I see it now.
You can only get disadvantage once.
Right. It's true. If you guys ever decided to abuse that horribly, I would start making it compound. Called shot.
Okay.
Okay.
If I detect magic and stuff, I wouldn't mind being second.
Okay. Sure. The take magic lasts for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't have taken Yormik that long
Great
to shape all of those
Yeah, because it's instantaneous,
glasses
right?
and everything. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Eldith is erring on the side of caution and is wearing hers.
Where's caution?
Jimjar, on the other hand, is not, but he's also bringing up the rear or second to rear, depending on how you guys order yourselves. Yep.
All of our minds never had.
Okay.
madness. Not worried about that.
Okay, so Nero, followed by Vera, head down the stairs. It's not quite as long of a staircase as the previous one, but there is a spiral to this one as it descends. You go down, it's about 40 feet vertically that you descend this staircase, and at the floor, when you see it opens into a room, you find adornments in this chamber that would be much more at home in a drow city. Spider-themed tapestries, fine Zerkwood furniture, and over a dozen stone statues and racks of expensive clothing fill the area, though all of it at this point appears old and rotted. At the center of the chamber, about 30 feet in front of you, a female drow sits upon a Zerkwood throne.
Hey, I wonder if she knows where the witch is.
And we will start here next week.
Fireball. Fireball.
Disguise yourself as a
Drow.
quick.
I'm a drow. Ha.
Oh, no. I'm a drow. I put
Got
on.
me.
I convinced them I'm a drow, and then I put on a medallion I found on a dead drow. I'm sure this is fine. They'll never notice.
It was almost fine.
It was real close. But cool. Yeah, that was I don't know, I weirdly enjoyed the council meeting
Oh, it was
planning
great.
thing.
I got a pickaxe. I rolled 5
Dude,
natural 20s.
what in the world? You might as well have
You
been a
took
werewolf
all of
for
my
how
good
you were
rolls
rolling
for
on
the
shit
night.
tonight. You took all of everyone's good rolls for the night.
I did.
I don't know if I think I rolled once.
Yeah, you failed your thing.
Yeah.
No, I got a double natural 20.
There weren't that many. He rolled more than any of you by far.
I
Just
think
this
I think
session.
more than all those combined.
I think probably.
Not that much.
Looking
Yeah,
for those
there was a lot
drow
more strategic conversation than persuading, deceiving conversation
Yeah.
today.
But
But cool. Yeah, we will pick back up with the Rock Blight next Wednesday.
Woo!
Talk to you guys next time. Peace.
Auf Wiedersehen.